live. We're recording. I feel like I should have more Word documents open. I feel like I don't have all my notes.
Hallo there.
I have my notes. It's just weird. There's only one single solitary Word document, and usually I have a few. So I'm like, I don't know why I don't have. I feel like I literally feel like I don't have enough documents open, and yet I have so many things open on the screen. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Krieg Dominion. I'm Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Dominion, and your host for tonight's event, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader Tithes of Acheron, Segmentum the 5th, the Halosk Holdouts, Episode 2, in what is quite possibly the world's longest title ever. Possibly. Maybe. Probably not. But with me are, of course, my wonderful Grimdark players. Alterios. Let's see. Alterios, Warner, Darius, and... Rev. Let's...
Howdy.
I did that on purpose. I'm glad people caught it, though. I really am.
Yes.
But yeah, let's take a moment, check in with people. It's been a couple of weeks because apparently the plague was plaguing, Nurgle was doing his thing. People were not generally available last week, so let's check in. We'll start with Rev. What's new and exciting for you? And
Well,
also, before you start, not depressing.
Sorry, you're gonna get it. I'm still getting over the post nasal drip, and all that entails. And
Words
my
I do
girlfriend,
not need to hear.
my girlfriend insisted that she has a good immune system. She's not gonna get sick. She'll come over and help take care of me, and it'll all be fine. And now she's sick.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes.
But I also got news from the doctor's office that I will require additional surgeries on my feet. Don't worry, Omar, or I'll send you foot pictures later.
No, please, for the love of God and everything holy in all the worlds and all the universes, do not send me fucking feet pic. Look at that. A minute 55 and you got me dropping the big one. Come on, man. Come on.
I like how it cuts to Lucian face palming.
Anyway.
So, the good news is the doctor says I only have one bone spur, one joint that needs replacing, and an Achilles tendon that looks like a wet frayed rope.
Okay. All right. That's. Have you considered cutting it off and maybe reattaching
Amputation.
Well, as far as major surgeries go, that is the next step. To be fair, shaving down a bone spur, giving me an artificial toe joint, and doing some sort of new experimental radiotherapy to possibly regenerate my Achilles tendon are all considered relatively minor surgeries that they can all do in one go.
Well, bone spurs, they can use ultrasound to break those up.
No, this will be so mine is a titanium reinforced bone spur because my bone spur has decided to grow up and over a piece of titanium in my foot.
Oh.
Good job, Rev. Good job.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Sorry.
The human body is
The human body does
resilient
some really
in
weird shit.
very particular ways.
I remember having that conversation with my neurosurgeon a couple of times. It was just like, yep, listen, I get it. Human body does some really weird shit in order to keep on.
So if you'll think about where the ankle and the foot meet, and you make a V or an L, the bone spur, if from the bottom of the L, the bone spur is growing up in a hooked manner to create a big pinching pincer towards the top of my ankle. So there's a big chunk of soft tissue that it likes to basically pinch on every time I try to step forward with my foot.
Yeah, that checks out.
The Achilles, they just did a bunch of MRI stuff. The toe joint, he doesn't do the full total toe joint replacement himself. And what it is on my big toe, so it's limiting my forward range because like when you step, your front toe bends. It'll bend down just fine. It's not bending up at all, and they're not entirely sure why. They basically noticed some bone-on-bone contact on the X-ray. They might learn more from the MRI. But they're thinking total joint replacement at this point, which apparently is because of the way it wears and tears, typically lasts even longer than like your hip or something like that when they have to do a full replacement for that kind of joint. To the point where it's considered minor because you're not really having much bone healing. We'll see. I don't know what sort of healing time we're looking at for all that. And my dog has. We got the diagnosis. My last remaining dog has an extremely aggressive form of cancer that has already metastasized.
That's
Ooh.
basically terminal without
Yeah.
actually
Yep.
calling it terminal. Or is it actually officially terminal?
Yeah, no, and it's the initial tumor is on the jaw, and they said they'd have to basically remove a large chunk of the lower jaw even to get rid of it, and we're not really willing to do that.
No, that's a big kick to the dog's quality of life right there.
Yeah, so um, 6 months on average is what we're hearing from the vet.
That's quite unfortunate. And obviously, this is a touchy situation and touchy subject, but euthanization at some point in the near future, I'm assuming.
Probably not. She's still bouncing around and running around and having fun.
Well,
Um, I
there's
say
that.
I say bouncing around, running around, having fun. She's still going on walks. She's still bouncing around. She's still playing and being excited. As much as a almost 16-year-old dog does do those things.
Right, right.
Um, so we have um, a minor painkiller waiting for her at the vet if she does start showing signs
Right.
of discomfort, but we don't really know anything beyond around 6 months at this point.
Right. So basically just play it by ear and hope for the
Yep.
best. I mean, and that makes sense given the name. Yeah, it sucks all around. That sucks. Anything with dogs. And yeah, usually with cancer, once you hear the word metastasize, yeah, it's downhill at that. The way I understand it, I'm not a medical uh, professional of any sort. I'm actually pretty dumb. I'm pretty dumb in general. So,
What?
Darius,
Somebody who is pretty dumb could not have come up with the campaigns that you have come up with.
I suppose there's an element of truth in there somewhere, probably buried under layer upon layer of bullshit. Usually the stuff that I spew. At any rate, Darius, what's new and exciting for you?
Well, I might be forced to go back to work.
What?
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm just,
I don't know what else to say.
the disability just doesn't cut it
Yeah.
by itself.
I hear that. Once I get through these surgeries, I'll be probably looking for some kind of employment.
Yeah.
What can you
But
like? Obviously, don't put out more than what you're comfortable with. But what can you do? Because typically, with disability, at least to what I understand, your level is usually you're pretty limited.
there's a price cap where if I go above that, it will affect my disability. If I stay below it, I'm fine.
Right. But also,
Per
there's
month.
I imagine there's a physical limitation insofar as how much you're able to handle work.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do warehouse work. I couldn't do anything that requires standing for long periods of time. You know, there's a lot that I can't do,
You're
but
right.
there's also some things that I can. And IT work is one of those things I can.
Oh well. IT work, I feel like, and I could be wrong too when I say this, but I feel like the IT industry is an industry that's never going to run out of work. Especially when you have dumbasses like me playing on the computer.
Actually,
Yeah.
my current awareness, and Warner can probably attest to some degree of this. The IT industry is pretty oversaturated right now.
That might be true.
It really depends on what part of the industry you're talking.
Well, this would be network administration.
Okay. As far as I know, network administrators are still, they can find jobs. But with the advent of generative AI, people have been like, oh, well, if the generative AI does the same quality of that an apprentice programmer does, why should we hire an apprentice programmer? And the answer is because the apprentice programmer gets better.
Yes. Yeah. But all the bean counters are thinking, but we don't have to pay them.
Yes. The generative AI boon is hurting young programmers and the people that help programmers succeed, like IT project managers and scrum masters, like myself, which is why I've been having a hard time finding a job.
I
Yeah.
hear you. Well, Darius, good luck. Hopefully, you're able to make some sort of
semi-voluntary, but kind of not.
voluntary in that you're deciding that you need to do this before it becomes an absolute necessity, as opposed to like,
Pretty
doing it
much.
now, I guess, versus when you're in that position of like, well, the money's gone.
But I'm only doing it part-time, and I'm going to work as little as possible and make as much as I can.
That sounds like everybody's idea of what they like to
I was
do.
trying to figure out like how do I follow up on that without making it sound like he's trying to rip people off. Because obviously he's not, right? Like he's coming from a position where he's not had to work.
No, disability cap.
IT work actually pays pretty well.
It does.
Fair.
So
especially if you've got the right certs.
I don't, especially not recently. But I've worked with networks over 100 computer workstations with 7 servers before.
Well, if you have, you may be able to get a Net Plus certification.
I don't know all the terminology very well.
You don't know the ports and stuff like that?
I feel like that some of that stuff would be...
not anymore.
Obviously, I don't know any better, but I feel like some of those things would be not difficult to learn. At least once you get in that particular avenue of approach or whatever, it's whether some online classes or something like that. Now, getting those classes lined up might be the problem.
Yeah.
Best of luck, regardless. Hopefully, you end up in a position where you don't have to work quite so hard and keep your finances under control.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a full-time employed person, so for my side of it, the job I have pays okay. And that's, I don't mean that in a disparaging way. It's a decent enough job. It pays enough. I'm fortunate that I have my military pension, which in and of itself is not a whole hell of a lot, but put the two together and I have enough means to handle my financial responsibilities, roughly 98%. And with plenty of thinking ahead, I can manage the other 2%. But every now and again, I'm like, you know what? Instead of working 10 days on a pay period, maybe I should work 11 days for a little while, get some of that money built back up, or to cover those gaps.
Now, not to speak for Lucian, but from my own experience with the disability system, like he said, they sort of cap how much you can earn on your own before it starts cutting into your disability. So there is a sweet spot of like income earned, where you still get your full disability income. But
and I have to double check on it, but I think mine is
$750. Weekly, monthly? I'm just
monthly.
Curious. Okay.
I could use an extra $700 a month. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine's a little bit more than that. I don't know what level of disability you are. But there's about 3 different tiers of disabled that they have, and mine.
I am on a permanent disability.
Well, I don't think that's how the government sees it for like SSI and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to get too technical because I don't remember all the technicalities, but I do know that there's 3 tiers of it based off the level of not how disabled they think you are in terms of permanent disability, but within that there's 3, depending on how crippled they think you are. And I know from my experience they think that I'm tier 3, which is the worst there is, and it just means that I get slightly better insurance options than some other folks. But
I have great insurance options if you consider Medicare great.
Well, I have Medicare and Medicaid Advantage plans, and the way it ends up working for the doctors that I can see, um, I don't know if it's a national law or just a Texas law, but you violated the law if you try to charge me with a copay or anything with the tier of disability that I'm at.
Hi.
Well,
Okay,
I don't want to dawdle too much on
yeah.
on this topic. I don't want to
Your
take anything
filter-
from it either, but
Your filter filtered out everything else, and it appeared that you pulled the head off of a cat.
I
Said
saw
hello
it would
to
look
it.
like the outline of the cat. I knew it was the cat because you're talking to
No.
it, but
The body of the cat was gone. The head of the cat was there, so it looked like you pulled the head off a cat, morbidly said hello, and then set the head aside.
Alterios, before we get stuck on cat dead body part thingies, what's new and exciting for you?
Don't forget
I'm
Pete Fix.
big sick.
What did he say? What?
He said he's the big sick.
You're the big sick.
Yeah.
Stop that. Nobody wants to be the big sick.
Him have the plague.
He is the plague.
Make sure you pick green on the table tonight, you nurgling.
Well, he always takes green, so it doesn't really matter.
I know.
Maybe he needs to change it to one of those sickly shades of green like you see on the map on the table.
Isn't that your choice?
Yes. Alterios, you got anything else? I don't want to, not give you the same opportunity as everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Warner, what's new and exciting for you? And also, because the topic has come up, obviously you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what's the progress on your employment situation?
I was informed that they liked my interview, and they liked me enough to keep me in their back pocket. They were looking for someone with more internal hire experience. So,
That's quite unfortunate.
Warner, I'm sorry. Yeah. This just occurred to me based off what you told me. I should have thought of it before, but Warner, you just got friend zoned.
Yeah,
that definitely sounds like friend zone in a corporate sense.
Yep.
Oh man, that sucks because that was like several weeks worth of movement, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it had some promise to it, and it's still the most promising, which is maybe a little bit more depressing. But we're gonna try and get off depression and play a game that's fun.
Yeah, I like fun. Well, we don't need to dawdle. You got anything new and exciting you want to talk about?
New and exciting. So I know you guys made fun of the game name, but my daughters have started playing Unicorn Overlord.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's just those two ideas don't sound like they would go together in a sentence, let alone a game title. But yet at the same time, I'm loving it. I'm loving the chaos it seems to spawn.
Yeah. They are playing on the absolute easiest setting, basically story mode. Whereas I am playing on the absolute hardest setting in the game now. You have to beat the game once before it unlocks.
So that difficulty thing. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, people can say or think whatever they want, but if you're having fun doing it and it's not hurting anybody, fuck them. It's just my. So
Warner, what's your favorite unicorn, Warner?
So there are no actual unicorns in the game. Well, my favorite item with unicorn on it is the Holy Unicorn Blade.
I appreciate it when I say something and all the little video icons go to facepalm.
That does actually make me think. So now you mentioned unicorn sword something, right?
Yes.
If you remember from the Lord of the Rings movies, the Rohirrim had interesting swords.
Yes, they
because
did.
they used the horse head and neck to form the guard.
Yes.
And so now I'm curious, does that unicorn motif continue in this tradition, or is it just got a cool name?
The sword itself, I don't know that I've actually paid all that much attention to its image in the game.
Okay.
But when you promote your main character from Lord to High Lord, your horse, you get a horse, and your horse has armor that has a spike on it, so it looks like a unicorn.
That is pretty cool. And not for nothing, I suppose if my horse is going to have armor, I might as well give him some sort of pseudo-offensive armor.
Yeah.
All right, I realize I may sound like I'm talking shit about this game. I don't mean to. And
I pictured
just
I pictured offensive in the other sense of the word.
what, oh dear. No, we're not going there. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Let's talk about last session. Previously on Tithes of Acheron, we arrived in the outer reaches of the Halosk system after an uneventful trip through the warp. In those outer reaches, we have encountered the last of 3 Hazaroth-class raider ships that were previously encountered in the Tazlak system. In recent weeks, the crew of the Solonov's Turn have rebelled against the previous officer corps and installed a new leader, Irene Solonov, as well as allegedly removing the taint of the nanite infestors. Following some information exchange, the Solonov's Turn has been allowed to depart the system bound for the Van Breeze throne world, Regius Prime. And now we remain out here. And so a couple other things that we do know. Let me switch this over. Viewers, just stand by. There we go. Okay. So we have a nice little layout of our star system here. Our 2 main ships, the Halosk and the title ship, or flagship, the Tithes of Acheron. Hold on. Let me... There we go. That's better.
You mean the Acheron's Ferry?
What did I call it? Oh, I called it, yes, the Acheron's Ferry, not Tithes of Acheron. Tithes of Acheron's the name of the show. I get confused, and I had an extra box on the screen I had to get rid of, so now I know better. At any rate, we have the Acheron's Ferry and the Halosk. We have, up here, of course, is the Hazaroth ship that is moving away, and we have the Tempest strike fighter that came over with us from Tazlak that's also kind of lingering further in the back, but unfortunately this map diagram doesn't really give that. We do know that the Kroot, or a group of Kroot, have arrived in the system, and according to Irene Solonov and her crew, they basically made a beeline straight for Halosk Prime, which is the pretty blue one over here, and dumped its crew, and then the ship that was carrying them, a transport ship, returned to the outer parts of the system and then disappeared from view. You've been in contact with the governor of the planet, whose name suddenly is escaping me. Halosk Prime. Workflow. Governor Roger Schreck. And he has basically stated that he is well aware of the Kroot on the ground, and in fact, they've managed to contain them in the southeastern part of the main city of the world, Workflow. There is a roughly 1,000-meter cordon around where the Kroot are contained. There's something like a couple of dozen of Kroot that they're planning an assault, but they're hesitant to set it off because of collateral damages. And there is, let's call it, mixed reviews, just for the joke, but also like a certain amount of inconsistency from what could otherwise be considered the local governance council. Some are for an assault, some are desperately against an assault because they don't want all the collateral damage. There was, I believe, if I remember right, there was talk of basically from the Lord Captain saying, do what you think is best. I've got your back. Between the Lord Captain and the governor of the planet.
Not exactly. The governor is to maintain his current containment procedures, and to avoid any like back and forth backstabbery with the council. He is to inform them, or I will inform them directly if need be, that he has my full support.
Yes. So there definitely was a bit of I have your back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you guys are in the outer part of the system, near that one gas giant, and as you can see, it has the extremist void port. To be clear, this is not a populated void port, other than there are people wandering about, like dismantling it and taking the dismantled bits back to the planet for recycling, used in other things, which is part of the main industry of this star system. That said, you've got somewhere out here in the solar system an enemy ship, and you've got crew on your homeworld, or not your homeworld, your main world. I leave it now to you to figure out what you want to do.
In areas where the scans are easy enough, like around the moon, like there is a shadow, going to be a shadow and whatnot, we'll proceed at best speed. But in areas where the asteroids could provide cover, we will take a slightly more cautious approach when we have to pass through areas where an ambush could potentially happen.
Okay. So I want to be clear, like the dust cloud is not entirely visible or easily seen here, but there is this dust cloud here that it again, this is meant to be more of a line chart than an actual map of the solar system. This dust cloud more or less extends around the bulk of the system. Similar in some ways to an Oort cloud, but like think of it like an asteroid cloud, except all the asteroids got ground into fine powder, and now there's clusters of dust cloud.
Well, I want to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
We last left off in the system, not on the edge of the system. We have two ships that are basically proceeding outward from the system.
Okay.
But the Acheron's ferry and the Halosk are currently, we should be around one of the gas giant moons where we had a parlay with the last remaining there isn't, I didn't see that gas giant there.
Yeah, it was just based on where I had marked or put the ships, but yeah, you guys are, that's
one
roughly
of the ship
where
markers.
You are.
Well, I saw Voidport for some reason, but I didn't see the gas giant moons. So okay, I guess I just was confused why we weren't around the second gas giant moons. Now, does the dust cloud act as any sort of inhibition for the sensors of any kind, or is it merely?
It does. In fact, you were getting some I mean, your crew and command staff is like, if I was going to hide a ship, that dust cloud is. If I wasn't going to hide it around the asteroids or one of the moons of the gas giants, the dust cloud would be my next best bet.
Now, as I recall, Jace basically rolled a nat 20 on his sensor sweep that helped us spot the ship that was out here.
I don't remember, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
So would that have given us any better view on the other side of this cloud, or is that something we still need to proceed through with extreme caution to make sure something's not waiting?
Yeah, you're gonna want to do a pretty solid scan of that dust cloud. The problem is this: you've got experienced voidsmen in your ship's crew, including Jace, who would know that if a ship really wanted to hide, they would shut their shit off and literally just float in the dust cloud, if that was what the position that they were in. Right. But you also know that you could pick up such a ship that was running silent. It would just take a concerted effort to find it.
Right. So my next question, before we get into all the navigational challenges, could we through comms be lining up some sort of acquisition roll just to merely get that out of the way? Or do you want us to wait till we are in system or closer in system to do that?
I think theoretically you could. I think it would just be better mechanically speaking. Wait until you're on the planet.
Okay. Well, at least close to planet. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to the acquisition rolls. I kind of want you guys to get a little bit further in the system.
Okay. So, Jace, do you want to make a concerted sensor scan? And would it do any good for Winter to be trying to scan psychically for any alien presence?
I keep forgetting about Winter, and insofar as planning for things that you may have her do. Let's have Jace make his roll first, because his roll is going to be a contested roll. You get your scrutiny plus the ship's detection, and if I remember right, the ship's detection is 15. Let me double check. Correct. It is. So basically, your scrutiny plus 15 from the ship versus my how well can I hide the ship in this solar system.
Okay, and that's a scrutiny roll.
Correct.
Omar, I'm sending you a message on Discord.
Okay. Going to ignore it forever.
It's game relevant.
Still going to ignore it forever.
Do I get any bonuses or minuses on this?
No. Just your scrutiny plus 15 from the ship.
What about a captain's bonus? Since
It's
I'm
an
on
option.
the same ship.
It's an option.
Well, I get it basically every turn, so there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to give you the plus 10 on every navigational check. Considering the time that this is going to take. So yes, I'm in a plus 10 to getting through this.
Yep. So plus 25.
Shall I announce that in game or?
Yeah. So, well, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna say hand wave / retcon, and then Rev is going to explain it.
Because Omar and I have agreed that it's absolutely absurd for me to be going around with 2 bayonet power swords on pistols. And mechanically, it would function very much similar. I now have 2 power fists, and my weapons will be underslung on said power fists.
Okay.
So he could choose to shoot and or punch.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before I roll?
No. So I think our total here is scrutiny plus 25. Unless you're throwing
35. I've got a plus 10 to it.
What's 15 plus 10 from Rogue Trader, and then are you putting another plus 10 from a fate point?
No. It's plus 10 from my skill.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So plus 35.
So 35 plus 56.
91.
60, 91, yep. I will not fate point that.
Okay. Make your roll, sir. And then I will make mine. That is 4 degrees of success. I have 5 degrees of success.
What?
Yeah. The dust cloud is particularly nasty. Insofar as the modifiers it gives.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna spend a fate point to reroll that then.
Sure.
There is also the question of our ship build. We have a ship build for your approval.
Oh, for the Dauntless? Or no, not Dauntless.
The severed hand.
Yeah,
the severed hand.
That one, yeah. Okay.
I'd say that beats it.
That does beat it. So I'm looking in my notes.
Sorry for throwing multiple things at once. I'm just remembering things that didn't get addressed last week.
Yeah, I don't always remember all the things, so. I mean, shocker, right?
Really?
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, Omar.
Huh?
It's all right.
They say.
Hey, Omar. Just wanted to see what your blood pressure was.
It's getting. Oh, I see. Oh, I did put one in.
Hey, Omar.
Okay, now it's becoming a problem.
Hey, Omar.
It reminds me of the old Frosted Flakes Hey Tony commercials.
Hey, Omar.
Yes.
I learned how to make granola yesterday.
That's amazing. Don't need to. Okay. Actually, I do need to fix one thing. So let's see. We don't need this. Let's do this. Since it's really changed names. Refresh my memory for rolling initiative in ship combat is, let's see, that's like 200 something. Opponents. Da, 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 da. Ship combat actions initiative. 1d10 plus ship's detection bonus. I'll need 1d10 plus 15, I believe, for both of your ships. I could be wrong on that.
All right. Here's for the Acheron's ferry.
Oops. I need...
Warner, you want to roll for the other ship?
Yeah, please, somebody else roll for the.
All right.
Oh, did you have a really bad roll there? Yeah, you did.
Yeah. We have an initiative of 16.
Oh, it was a 1d10. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a 10.
All right, 16 for the ferry, and a 10 plus 25 total. Other one, right? Yeah, that sounds right. All right, well, not the ferry, but the you found.
Parallel.
So yeah, obviously you found the enemy ship, and you're just in these positions, as you can see right now. Obviously you detect the ship's presence, you maneuver towards it, and now you're in engagement range. Not necessarily firing range right away, but we've started the battle. Carlos is up. Whoever and whatever they're going to do.
Are you gonna switch your Twitch stream?
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
I
the
probably
viewers
should.
can see the board.
Yeah, I probably should do that. Good call.
See what we're talking about.
Yeah. That would be pretty smooth of me to do something like that. Anyway, Carlos. You know what? I think I have.
I was gonna say, do you have the ship stat cards? Because I don't remember how fast the parallels is.
Yeah, I thought I saved them. Give me a second. I'm looking for them. Oh, that's gonna be really big. Nope, that's empty. That's not cool. Character sheet. All literally character sheets. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I have a ship sheet PDF for the
What's
Acheron.
under ships?
The actual models.
Oh.
Yeah. So, fortunately, I should have PDFs for both ships. Give me just a second here.
Both?
No. But I vaguely recall we did this once before. Did we not use just basically the same thing for the parallels? Am I crazy in thinking that, or did we have separate? I know they're not the same ship class.
No, the ship you have coming at us is, or at least one of them, if it's the ship that disappeared, is very much a different class.
What?
Ship.
What?
Okay.
What are you talking about?
I may be confused, but if one of the ships that we're about to face is the same ship you said that disappeared off the other ship sensors that was seen in system and then
Yeah, no,
lost.
that is a different ship altogether. I'm talking about the Paralos. And I thought stats-wise, it was because I thought I had saved.
It was some kind of raider. I don't know.
It was I forget specifically. I do remember I had at one time.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see.
You did have a stat sheet for it and ours on the board.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think what I did was I slapped one together really quick, called it good, and then it's a wolf pack raid. Now that I think about it. It's not good. That's not good. It's not in there. Battle maps, nope. Character sheets. Those are all literally character sheets. See models.
So just to clarify, you got it marked as crew transport ship.
Uh-huh.
But is that an actual cruise vessel?
No, it's not a crew vessel. And that was something I needed to explain, and then I remembered that you guys don't have ship stat sheets here, so.
So you've lost all the ship sheets.
I mean, I have the PDF for the ferry. I thought I had a PDF saved for Paralos. Not seeing that either. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm looking for it now. Thought I had. It's the Acheron's ferry crew. Ship.
The transport ship that we're fighting, if I recall your description last time, is an Orion Star Clipper.
That is correct. Yeah, I had the stats for the crew ship. It's the stats for the Paralos that I don't have. Should have. Kind of kicking myself hard. Okay, you know what? We're gonna wing it a little bit. That's fine, because this is not super important. Components, custom, word. Damn, how did I do this before? This is gonna work. Oh, I do have one. Hold on. Oops. I'll put him back in a second. Okay. So this was the quickly constructed bullshit Paralos card. Had from last. Did it?
That's missing half the stuff.
Yes, because I had to copy and paste type / over what was in there for the Paralos versus what was on the Acheron's ferry. I'm getting there. Bear with me. Tip sheet. That was completely empty though. Okay, so then copy. Here. Oh, Acheron's ferry ship card. Go up. It's here. Or else it's just gonna go face. Okay, now spin this around. So now we have. Correct me if I'm wrong. The pertinent data is on there. I just don't have like the essential components and the supplemental components, but all the stats you need are on there. Does that make sense? As far as the Paralos and the Acheron's ferry. I hope I'm making sense the way I'm stating that.
Where are the shields?
You have one shield for both ships. Each ship has one shield. I must not have typed that in. Which is weird that I did that. Maybe at the time, you know what? Maybe when I did those PDFs sheets, I didn't understand how shields work just yet, but I know how they work now. Obviously, you have one shield. The number that would go in that stat block is 1.
Okay.
Which is why whenever a bunch of things hit your ship, the first thing doesn't count because the ship or the shield eats it.
Yeah.
All right, apologies for that delay, but please, Perlos, you may make your moves and do stuffs. And of course, the Orion Clipper or whatever the hell it is. Yes, Orion class Star Clipper. Oh my god, why did that feel so hard to say? Orion class Star Clipper. All right, Perlos, you're up.
Who's controlling the Perilous?
Why don't you handle the navigation for both ships? And
Okay.
Warner can handle the firing.
Sounds good.
And if the
All right.
Perilous needs a repair roll, then Alterios can handle that as well.
I have one quick note. I have Perilous still only being a skill level of 30. Does that sound right?
I thought it was 35.
I mean, I have the card over here. Acheron's Fairy's 35. The
Maybe that's
Hazaroth
what
Raider, because that was what their crew was even after their craziness. But I just wanted to make sure that we had not updated, or if that we had, I updated that card as well. Guess I haven't. At any rate.
Okay. So, Perilous. What's its movement?
Should be on the sheet.
If it's much faster
Speed 9.
than...
Nope, that's the fairy. Also 9 for Perilous.
I was gonna say try to keep them in formation for now. Is there the only the one ship? I thought you mentioned something about 2 ships.
No, it was just the one ship that you're facing. And to your knowledge, that there was only the one ship that had come here. So there was the Hazaroth, but you've already interacted with it and sent it to your homeworld.
Okay.
And then this ship.
You did say something about 2 ships. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Did I?
I may have. I'm also in the middle of trying to help Kite find a very particular Heart Saver certification class. And so I'm a little attention split at the moment. While it wasn't directly relevant to me, I apologize.
No worries. We have it figured out.
Are the things on the map actually here, or
no? You're in deep space. There's nothing. You have no obstacles or deterrents. You're just in deep space. And while there is a dust cloud, it's not interfering with.
Move it forward for now.
So to clarify this, go ahead.
What were my options for speeding up? I know there was one that was engineering based.
You have maneuver actions. There's a handful of them. They begin on PDF 214.
Alterios basically could tell him to gun it from the engineering, but we don't necessarily want either ship to leave either ship behind. So I just regular speed, probably, right?
Until you're in firing distance and then figure out what you want to do. Perhaps. But you have adjusting speed, you have adjust speed and bearing, and then you have come to new heading and adjust bearing. So there's a few that are, but it's up to you, like what you want to do in that regard, because depending on which ones you do, you may have other modifiers that.
What's the downside to adjust speed?
Let's see. There isn't really a downside. It's just that on a success, you increase your speed by 1, and then +1 for every degree of success. So it's not as, let's call it, dramatic as you may think, but it is a challenging pilot skill plus the ship's maneuverability, which I think is 23.
Correct. So what I would like to know is, will you allow me to make both rolls, as in rolls for both ships, right now, so that I can keep them in tandem?
You know what?
While increasing their speed.
I will give you a -10 to do it as a fleet action, for lack of a better thing to call it. And then
Uh-huh.
both ships will be adjusted by the same amount.
Oh,
Does that make
that works.
sense? Yeah. Now, don't move the second ship until it's that ship's turn, because you also have firing and all that other stuff to do on the Perilous' turn.
Of course.
But, so yeah, but it will be at a -10, and that's just to reflect coordinated action sort of mentality.
With the scale that we're at now, can we actually start using our measurements to determine firing range?
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I realize the backdrop is the solar system, but measurement, scale, etc. is all as you see it.
Okay. Measurement on or firing range on the guns is 9, I believe, for our main guns.
9, and then 18 is long range. So I think at this point, this is strictly my opinion too. Maybe speed isn't necessarily the direction you want to go with. Maybe it's more positioning that you want to set up. But that's, again, strictly my thought.
I want to close as much as possible, though.
Sure, by all means.
So
Warner, what are you doing?
What, Warner? Are you messing with something?
No. He knows what he knows what I'm getting at.
Yes, he is. Warner is in fact messing with something.
Anyway, so pilot, spacecraft, I've got a +20 from my skill. I would like the captain's bonus on this if I can.
So if I give him the bonus, this is still a turn. So like,
right, you wouldn't be able to use it again until next turn.
Okay,
right.
But nothing else should happen this turn, so far as I know. So, yes, a +10 for you can have it this turn.
And then
Yay.
23 for the ship's piloting maneuverability.
Yep.
So the Omar's +10 or -10 and my +10 should negate out.
Yep, they'll cancel each other out.
Right. So that's +43, and the base is agility, which is 60.
95 or better, or 95 or less.
No, well, yeah, but only because of your rule. The actual number is 100 and...
Yeah, when we count degrees of success, we come off the 103. When we look for skill check, it's 95 or better, or 95 or less. I keep wanting to say or better. You know what I mean?
Yep. So 103.
Wow. Would you like to fate point that?
Yes, I will fate that.
I figured.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, well, anyway, go ahead. That is significantly better. That's 10 degrees of success. So you basically just about overhaul the engines. So you'll get your normal movement +10, +11, because you get 1 and then +1 for every degree. Had effectively 10 degrees of success there. And then both ships have that equal amount of movement, right?
Yep. And I'm just moving straight forward this round.
Figured that.
Charge!
Yep, gotcha.
And then, are we able to? Nope.
Not yet.
I
also want to see what this enemy ship does.
It goes fast. To us, that's about it.
In response to us shooting forward like that.
Are you going to move the Acheron's Ferry now, or are you going to wait until its turn?
I have to wait until its turn to make its movement.
Okay. In that case, is there anything else you're doing on the Parallels?
We can't shoot because it's still out of range.
Right.
So, no. Unless... Do we want to boost the engines as well?
You
No.
just did that with the Just Speed.
The whole fleet, yeah. Just did that.
No, that was a maneuverability check. I'm talking about the engineering check.
Is there such a thing? Am I missing that?
Yes, all Turios can basically rev the engines.
Oh, is that one of those extended actions?
Yes.
Oh, yes, flank speed.
Mm-hmm.
But it does. I mean, not that it's likely because you guys have so many variables thrown in there. But yeah, there is the chance of failure and damaging the ships.
Okay, skip that then.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of low given your guys' level of ability, but yeah, it is a possibility.
Alturios, you want to risk damaging the ship?
No, because I'm the one who has to fix it.
That's why I started laughing when you asked that question. It's like he's gonna say no because. All right, in that case, I need to make a roll. That is not as good as I would have liked, but will allow me to do. That will put me at that. Escape. Let's see. Sorry, I'm thinking for a second, making sure I'm not missing anything here. Because I don't want to say numbers out loud. It is firing its keel-mounted Sunseer laser battery. Unfortunately, it is at more than... Double check. I'm starting to... Correct me if I'm wrong. It's after double the range that I start applying -10, right?
Which is why I didn't
Yes.
want to boost his speed.
More than double is the extreme range.
Sorry, for some reason I thought I had it straight in my head, then I started just second-guessing myself. Starship weapons may be fired at targets no farther than twice the weapon's range. Okay, so what are the range? Being dumb right now? I feel like I'm being...
I know in ground combat how it works, but like it's at no more than twice their range, which seems to mean that like beyond that, there's beyond their standard range, there's probably some sort of negative up to double.
Shooting actions. Weapons. Firing weapons is... Weapons and shooting micro batteries. You would think I would remember. With as much ship combat as we have done, you'd think I'd remember.
Well, up until now, we've
range
not
can affect its accuracy when firing at a target further away than the range, up to a maximum of twice range. Okay, yeah, so yeah, it is -10 at the range listed to double the range. So I am firing at a -10. Alright, I apologize. I'm rolling against a certain number. It fires its Sunseer laser battery and absolutely misses. At the Parallels, that is.
Okay.
It does come from a keel-mounted weapon position, though. Meaning the underside of the ship.
It will kill.
I don't want to hear that again tonight.
What did you... I missed what he said. I
It
heard
is a
Warner
joke
say
from
something.
Forged in Fire.
I'm hashtag triggered by that.
Jesus Christ. All right, Acheron's Ferry. You've got
Hashtag TW.
Anyway, moving on. Acheron's Ferry. Go ahead and make your movement with your adjusted range of like what 20? I think it was total 9 plus 11 or something.
Yep, I'm just moving it right up next to the Paralos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we can now fire.
That is
Mm-hmm.
true. On at least
Yes.
on one of your weapon systems, if not
At
both.
-10.
We
Correct.
have 2 dorsal mounted Sunseer laser batteries, so what you can do once, we can do twice.
Yep.
This
That
is
doesn't
true.
sound right. You have
We
2?
have 2 dorsal batteries. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you guys had 4. Okay, no worries. That might be me overthinking, not remembering correctly. That's fine.
We do not have port or starboard thingies. We have dorsal only.
Okay, no worries. Go ahead and destroy my. I had a word and I can't think of what that word was now. Go ahead and destroy my hopes and dreams for this crew.
Oh no,
We haven't done that yet.
I want a fast-moving cargo ship. They won't get crushed, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, we haven't had Warner roll ballistics yet.
Correct.
But I believe we are at that point where Warner can now roll ballistics.
Really?
Yes, you can take pot shots right now.
You can also do extended actions, don't forget.
If I wanted to have him roll or aim to cripple the ship, what additional difficulty would there be if he was aiming specifically to cripple the ship, like the engines or the shields or the weapons, as opposed to trying to destroy the ship outright?
Basically called shots.
Yeah, that's really about the only way, because there is no specific like cripple that ship as far as like your extended actions, unless there's something in Into the Storm or another book that the list of extended actions don't really give other. I mean, there's like lock on target, which gives you a better chance to hit with a specific weapon system, but there's no like target their engine so they can't run sort of option. The only option for that would be the hit and run, which is throwing one of your throwing boarding parties at there and hope that they can cripple the engines from inside. But that's a bit of a lengthy process, although it is a single turn. But what I mean by lengthy is those shells could be shot down by its turret rating. For
a called shot.
Is there a called shot in space combat? I'm not saying there isn't. I'm not aware if there is specifically.
I don't
double
recall
check this.
I know you can do called shots like with your personal weapons.
I feel like there should be in space as well.
I'm looking.
If you find it in writing, I won't argue it because it's in writing.
Shooting actions. Turrets, destroying ships, blah, 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 critical hits.
I think your best option, unless there's something that specifically says otherwise, is try to get a critical hit and then choose. Well, you can't typically you can't choose the engines. You can choose some other weapons or some other system of the ship that might keep it from getting away.
It has less hit points than most. So can we basically fire one set of batteries and then determine if we want to fire the second?
Yeah. Nothing saying you have to fire. I mean, you don't. There is no weapon declaration phase like in BattleTech. It that way. Let's see what that first set does, and if it doesn't do a lot, then we can do the second set or whatever.
Fair enough. That might be the way to go, unless Warner thinks he's onto something.
I just read in depth the whole thing. And it says that it says nothing.
Okay.
I like how you
I
tried
just-
to make it sound
I
good.
just finished it, and it says nothing.
I love how you tried to embellish that you accomplished. Or I'm sorry, shouldn't say accomplished, but that the end result was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead
so
and
I roll.
Yeah, go ahead and hit F1 before you hit roll. And
I,
then...
I believe I roll first.
Okay.
Because my extended action is put your backs into it.
Yes, yes.
Which should give you additional points, as well as you getting
I
the
believe
plus
a plus 5. I'm trying to.
So I've already
By the
given
way,
my
I
plus
did
10 this
increase
round.
my ballistic by 5 with the XP we have.
Let's see. Plus 5 to the ballistic skill test to fire a weapon component or other things, and then additional degrees of success are for additional tests, I should say.
Right. So if I get us like 3 additional degrees of success,
you can do both weapon systems.
Right. So it's off the command skill, is it not?
It is a challenging intimidate or charm.
All right, charm.
Charm plus 0.
Charm.
Let me double check. My charm isn't that great.
I feel
It's like a
charming.
99. Come on.
Oh, so charming.
So my charm is plus 30 because I have the plus 20 from my skills and then a plus 10 from talented.
Sounds right.
So that puts my charm only at 94.
Only at 94.
Mm-hmm.
Well, roll well, and both weapon systems can get a plus 5.
It's alarming how charming I feel.
So yeah, both your gun batteries get a plus 5 bonus.
Woot. As well as an additional plus 5 to repair if we need it.
Yeah, there's also that.
All right.
That was only 6 degrees of success, Omar.
Yeah, I know.
Only.
So, yeah. Don't worry. When you hit the final stage of this campaign, things are going to get difficult.
First, we have my roll of... We're in range, but not in short range, correct? So
Correct.
ultimately no modifier.
You are in the...
No. We're in extended range.
Yeah, okay. You're in the minus 10 range.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm at 64 or better, but then plus 5 is 69 or better. There we go. So here we go.
That seems like an auspicious number to roll on.
That is a 1 degree of success.
Hey!
So that's 2 hits, if I'm not mistaken.
Should be.
First hit obviously gets absorbed, but go ahead and roll damage twice.
An extra degree of success. Okay. Wait a minute. That was the damage. Dang it. We'll keep that roll for the next time.
Well, that's the second hit.
Yeah.
Here's 7 on the damage that does not get...
Well, roll the second damage as well.
Right,
just to...
It could be good.
So close. It was not, though. So 7 plus, what's the modifier?
4?
It's Is it a Sunseer for you?
Sunseer.
Yes.
So plus 2.
D10 plus 2.
All right, and so you crunch armor.
Yay.
No damage registered otherwise. Go ahead and fire with that second one.
Hold the phone. That ship, like, that's one of the quirks is that it basically has no armor.
I am looking at a stat that says armor 12.
Which is not much.
Which is not much. But it is, I want to point this out, it is more than 9. So thus, you flaked off a few sheets of armor, but it has no real effect.
Yes.
That's okay. And because you did roll a 26 against your, what'd you say, a 69? That's 4 degrees of success, so go ahead and roll your 4 hits, and
that's the crit, right?
Sunseer crit is 4, so yeah, 4 hits.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to get hit 3 times, but you did roll a 4 for your total number of hits, so 2, 5, 2 again, 5 again. So that is 12 plus
It's 14.
6.
Plus, oh yes.
You are counting those shields are already down, yeah?
Yeah, that's why you're losing one of the 2s. So 12 plus 6 is 18.
22.
No, this is the second battery firing. The void shield absorbed the first on the first hit.
Nope. I hear what you're saying with that, and it doesn't work. The second battery.
Oh, 18.
Yeah, the second battery resolution, the shields are available again.
I'm pretty sure that's not how
hold
it's
on.
ever
Yeah,
worked.
let me actually. You might be right. Give me a second. Void shields are invisible energy barrier. Second purpose is to absorb the terrific energies. If it absorbs too much energy too quickly, the shield collapses. Void shields functions by absorbing incoming hits. Chooses to fire whenever a ship chooses to fire on another ship during its turn. Target ship's void shields cancel a number of incoming hits equal to the shields. Has one shield. Yep.
It already
does not
canceled that one
matter
hit.
if it's from lances or macro batteries. If the attacker combines the damage of multiple macro batteries against the defending ship, the attacker chooses which hits discarded. The attack salvos. It is important to know that void shields reduce hits from all ships firing on them. If one attacker fires on a ship, the ship's shields reduce the hits as usual, even if they overload, and another attacker fires on the ship in the same strategic round. Okay, so well,
but this is the same ship.
Yeah,
it is
the same ship. So you do get all 4 hits. So that becomes 10, 14,
22.
22 damage, and their hull is, or excuse me, their armor is, as I stated, 12.
12.
That's 10.
That's 10 damage plus a critical.
And a critical. Go ahead. It's oh god, I'm trying to remember how to. Bear with me a second. Yeah, roll 1d10. Nope, that doesn't sound right.
Yep.
I don't think it's 10. I think it's 1d5. Give me a sec.
Well, I rolled a 10.
Oh right, it's the 1d10 when it's not when their ship is, if you're having us roll for essentially critical for the basically once their ship hull points are gone. By the way, Omar, I think I was reading in the manual that the ship doesn't automatically, unless you are trying to take it rules light and just make the game easier, the ship doesn't have to blow up when its HP reaches 0. It's just out of combat.
Yes. There's been times where I have said it blows up because of other things.
You don't want to deal with us getting more ships like we'd like.
Yeah, I mean, like you're getting you've got a bunch of ships already for fuck's sake.
Not nearly as many as you.
Enough.
We don't have nearly as many ships as this one house that you have us fighting.
Anyway, oftentimes, and especially lucky or well-placed blow will do more than boil off armor or consign blah 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 blah. The following is a critical hit chart for ships and should be used when a weapon's attack roll has met its crit rating or when a crippled ship takes damage. Some critical hits. The first is through the attacker can know what components their target has in one of 2 ways. First is through using active augury. The second is if you guys see it, and then when you take, pretty sure, yeah, no, the way we've been doing it was, unless it was the ship was crippled, i.e. no more hull, you choose one of the ship's systems based on observations, but you can't choose.
Except we've already had an active augury on the ship.
No, you haven't had an active augury yet.
No, we only detected the ship. We haven't
You
done
did a pretty good scan.
Okay.
When a crippled ship takes, okay, so crippled ships. Yeah, basically you have to kind of see where it actually says that in writing, but you have to choose from the systems you're aware of minus the obvious answers, engines.
That depends on the roll.
Yeah, so the whole reason you went and looked in the book was to see what we need to roll for a critical table.
Yeah. All right, what'd you roll? You rolled a 10. Hull breach.
See me rolling.
You
They
rolled a hull
hatin'.
breach. Let's see. Okay. The hull breach. The hull of the ship is ripped asunder by tremendous force, opening compartments to the void. doing massive structural damage. The attacker selects 1d5 components, choosing only choosing ones he knows of, and not including the bridge. Roll a d10 for each, and it could be either damaged and depressurized or destroyed, depending on that second roll. So go ahead and roll 1d5 so you can choose how many components.
So we've seen one weapon system. We've seen the void shields. Anything else that you technically would have said we would have seen?
It obviously has sensors and communications equipment that are separate systems, I'm sure. Presumably it would have life support.
But we haven't seen those in action.
So I'm rolling another 1d10, correct?
1d5.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a d10 divided by 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow. So 5 components.
Behold.
What components would you like to not destroy?
I would like to not destroy life support. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to. I mean, it doesn't say you can't choose engines. So obviously you just chose engines. Engines, all weapons, and there's 2 weapon systems.
We haven't seen him fire the other weapon system. To be fair, just the keel.
This is true. Yeah. Let's go with.
Well, then, blobs void shields.
Yeah, engine. The only 3 things that I know for sure that we've seen in operation are shields, engines, and the keel weapon system.
Yeah, and we can argue that sensors have now taken a hit.
Yeah.
What else we got? Yield, critical. Sensors, engines are crippled. Yeah, we'll go with that. I've only got 4, but only because you guys don't know enough and haven't done a full auger, whatever the hell it's called. I do need you to roll 1d10 for each of those 4. What you are looking for is, so basically, on an 8 or more, those components are destroyed. On a 7 or less, it is damaged and depressurized.
Okay. First is the weapon.
Yep.
Whee! Depressurized.
Weapons
Next is the void shields. Also depressurized, not destroyed. Then the engines. Kablooey.
Engines are
destroyed.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, that totally ruined my whole plan. Okay.
Warner, I believe you have an extended intimidate action you can do via comms.
You absolutely can. Okay, and then one more for the sensors.
Oh, right, sensors. Whee!
This is America. We don't believe in sensors.
Also dead.
Instead of writing destroyed, I literally wrote dead. If you mouse over the ship, you will see the systems that you have absolutely damaged. Ship combat, unless you want to continue ship combat, has effectively ended. It's become quite apparent that your Sunseer batteries just absolutely wrecked this fucking thing. And I think there's a part of you and perhaps some of your bridge crew that are going, holy shit, how is that thing still void worthy? It immediately signals surrender. Immediately. And I think it gets to the point where it's like it has to fuck around with its running lights in order to indicate that it's giving up. It's not doing shit. It is now in a state of panic.
By semaphore.
Yes.
Sensors may be down, but sensors and comms are not synonymous.
No, I know. That's what I was kind of making a joke more than anything else. But for all intents and purposes, ship combat is ended, and I can take the screen off of that. So, what would you like to do with this now completely dead, smoking, wrecked ship? Besides adding it to your fleet one day.
Yeah, I mean, the engine repairs and sensor repairs shouldn't be too terrible.
They're going to take days, but yeah.
It'll take a while. I mean, like it's completely wrecked.
Yeah.
But the rest of the ship is still functional, and it's in a system full of where they salvage and stuff. So getting some sort of functional engines back up in the future shouldn't be too big of a deal. And I'm pretty sure a system that is responsible for hauling goods of a high priority value could really use a permanently stationed ship that sends goods back to the capital world in an expedient fashion. So I feel like this would make this system much more efficient in its functions.
Expediency.
I mean,
efficiency, effectiveness,
this ship has one purpose: move goods fast.
and synergy.
And
good.
And the goods coming off this world are, relatively speaking, low volume, high value.
You stop, kitty.
I told you not to call me kitty on stream.
No, my cat is currently laying between my back / butt and the back of the chair, and I have my arm on armrest, and he's reaching up for it. I'm like, no, stop it! You have claws. Regardless, you receive a message from someone identifying himself as Garen von Garris, the captain of the now mostly wrecked Marathos, stating that he is an independent captain. He reveres the God Emperor and humanity, and frankly, is happy to surrender his ship for your domain. The only reason, and he basically, and like, so throughout this tirade, not, I shouldn't say tirade, throughout this plea, only engaged because he is afraid that you would destroy him. But notice that since he surrendered and you have not continued to fire on his ship, that you might actually be worthwhile.
Yes, I will inform him of the extent of my magnanimity, since he hired himself out to an illegitimate authority who does not have any actual relevant power under the auspices of the Emperor, and is in fact a rogue leader.
No imperial remit.
He is operating outside of the authority of the Imperium, and is thus a traitor to the Empire.
To which the only thing that this guy says is, one, I'm paraphrasing, so, one, if you feel the need to space me or shoot me, then by all means, I accept my fate. I did that because I had a crew and a ship to maintain. I took those jobs in order to keep my people fed.
I raise a hand and say that you're. So first off, I wasn't threatening to space him. I was merely informing him of how generous I was being in not doing so. Secondly, as long as he is,
that is what he was trying to get at. But go ahead.
Secondly, as long as he is in my employ, the feeding and fueling of his ship will never be a concern that he should have to worry with henceforth.
I think there's worry,
child.
I think there's a moment where it looks like this guy is literally about to drop. I mean, he's probably already on his knees in the first place, but like, he's about to like absolutely collapse and just absolutely surrender and submit. And
I will ask that
not in like, and not in like a, obviously I'm surrendering my ship to you, but like in a different sort of sense, surrendering and submitting to your leadership or whatever you want to call it.
I will ask for any records of whatever jobs that he may have undertaken during his commission with House Hanet. If they even deserve such a title.
I mean, I suppose technically they're a house only in the vaguest sense of the term. They're not recognized, but that's not important right now. What he does end up coming up with is he does have a series of logs, and in fact, he offers to turn over all of his logs. But the biggest thing is that he's been under contract with Hanet more or less long enough to take these crew off of Footfall and bring them down here. I shouldn't say down. You know what I mean? To this part of the Koronus, and to ferry them back and forth as needed.
Yes.
Did we lose Rev, or is he still thinking?
Crud. I just gave a deep sigh.
Okay.
Do these records show that he was involved in any way on the actual attack on the Void Station?
Acheron, I think, was the name of that system. No, this ship specifically. Yeah, no, this ship specifically took a large number of crew from Footfall to Taslak, and then when Hanet and his expedition were basically getting ready to pack up, he said, "All right, now take the crew over to that system and drop them off, so that they can call."
So he was not involved in dropping anyone off at any of the other worlds?
No. That was pretty much the extent of his contractual duties or whatever was.
Okay, because I would have
Tasklock, and then from there to here.
if he had been involved in the destruction, and this is above table, just so everybody knows I'm taking my RP seriously. If he actually had been involved in the destruction of our astropathic relay station, I would have had to have rolled on a table for Brook no insult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
He does suggest that perhaps the people that were directly involved in that may have already been destroyed. Mentioning or referencing the Hazaroths and Tempests and two other ships you've made. That's bullshit.
Yes. Well, the other question is, House Fell. What is their official house?
Their name is Fell.
Okay. Has he at any point undertaken any any expeditions for House Fell?
I have pretty much written off Fell since he died, so no.
Well, Fell Jr. hasn't, and dadgummit, I'm owed a warrant of trade.
Well, sure, but you're nowhere near the Fell domain if such a thing exists. Now I have to incorporate House Fell back into this bullshit when we progress the campaign beyond here. You're welcome.
Such a thing does exist, and I want you to know I'm taking that seriously.
Sure.
I still have third in line of succession or whatever as a guest on my ship, lest you forget.
I thought you servitorized him.
No,
that was
Haderach himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, him too.
The second to accompanied him to the duel was taken into our custody.
You didn't leave him at Regius?
No.
Oh.
You want to know why?
Oh. Yes, please.
Because I have a psyker that can mind wipe and rewrite people's minds on my ship.
Turns out he died.
You can't just make that up all of a sudden.
I rolled and I got an odd number.
You can't just make that up like that. He's in a VIP section. He's not dying with some other member of the crew.
Fine.
The cyanide tooth kicked in.
Yes. Remember, my lord, the tooth. He was absolutely a Dune reference, by the way.
He's being treated. He's being treated, as far as he knows, as a respected guest of the ship.
Okay, I'm not going to argue it. Sounds good to me.
We occasionally get together to play matches of whatever you named.
Regicide.
No, it wasn't Regicide. It was that tabletop battle of technique.
Oh no, it was miniaturized Titans. We were having
Titan Tech.
Yeah, Titan Tech. You named it something else before, but we'll go with Titan Tech.
I don't remember. I wish I could remember it though. Anyway, what would you like to do, sir? You stop. We're not playing right now. Get off the cable.
By the way, that comment about a psyker that can rewrite minds, that's foreshadowing, Omar.
Sure.
Anyway.
Kitty, knock it off. Desperately wants my...
So I'm going to be looking for intelligence. So basically, you can decide later on whether or not they actually did any work for Fellhand, and that's further intelligence for going after him later on, should you wish it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Better at least be in the epilogue. Anyway. So I'm erring towards magnanimous with this captain. He is being obsequious enough that I am happy with his
it's
behavior.
The opposite of Brook no insult. It's accept all shameless flattery.
That's fair.
I ask you to look at my motivations. But I am erring towards magnanimous, as that is as word of mouth potentially spreading of My magnanimity toward people who surrender into my service as opposed to fight to the last will hopefully spread. I am erring toward that, and I am telling him to forward me a list of whatever he needs. I'm also going to be contacting the governor of the planet and informing them that the ship that they had spotted on, I believe they're the ones who informed me they'd spotted a ship on sensors.
I think you got the reports from both the Solanov and
Okay.
They may have said something about it as well. I don't remember now, but you definitely got, at the very least, you got it from the Solanov's turn.
So I will be having some sort of comms with the. Did you say he was the planetary governor? What title did you give the person who's having to deal with the council?
He is the planetary. Slightly different title. Now I really feel like I should give it the proper due and up that specific. Let's see. Paragraphs from the setting.
Probably.
He's the governor. Roger Shrek.
Okay. So I will be.
I had a like I was like mercantile and executive or something like that. Some sort of merchant
merchant
yeah.
general.
Yeah, something stupid like that wasn't it. But oh, it's right here. Mercantile executor in chief of the world.
Okay.
I found it.
Well, well, I will be informing the captain is the rank that that the commander of this ship has taken.
Yes, Captain Vulgaris.
Did you say Vulgaris or Von Garis?
Von Garis. I realized now.
Okay.
Yeah, here I'm typing it in PTS chat.
Okay, you said it rather quickly, and so I want to make sure that his.
I did.
Okay, so
I'm definitely not making a play on his name.
I will be making an inquiry as to which planetary nobility his title comes from, so
Which
that
one?
I can properly. If you have Von in your name, you
Oh,
are.
No! I apologize. You okay? So Garen von Garis is the captain of the Marathos. Roger Shrek.
Roger Shrek, I'm not asking about. The captain of the ship, I am seeking information as
to his...
I
got you. You're trying to figure out where his lineage comes from.
Yes. Mostly because nobility...
I hear what you're saying. When I made the character's name, I definitely, possibly, perhaps, could have watched a clip from Mass Effect something or other. And so Garrus was in my head and all of his calibrations, and I, being the smartass I am, despite all my best efforts, Garen von Garrus came out of my mind and went onto the paper as the name of the captain of the ship.
Okay. Still, as it may be, he has taken a noble title.
Yes.
And I am making inquiries as to the depths of his lineage.
Okay.
And provided he does not have some spectacular, amazing ancestry, I am going to inform him, because if he is from some renowned lineage, that may change and given his competency, that may change how I wish to reward him with his ship. But provided it's not a spectacular noble lineage, or he is a several times removed scion and still carries the Vaughn in his name, if one of those things is the case, I'm going to inform him that as captain, he is to do several things with his ship. He is to forward to the planetary governor whatever additional material he might need to fully complete the repairs of his ship in an expedient fashion. And as such, he is also to report himself to the executor, whatever you just called it.
The mercantile executor in chief.
He is to report himself to the mercantile executor in chief. He is, upon approval of the mercantile executor in chief, to consider himself as the commander of whatever planetary space forces there may be, even salvage assets, for him to organize and direct and see to their efficiency if at all possible. But he is to do so at the approval of the planetary governor and to essentially be Whereas essentially, he's essentially to be the head of whatever space forces this system has,
Are you
salvage or
promoting him
otherwise.
to admiral?
No, I'm not promoting
Sounds
him
like
to
it.
admiral.
Okay.
He's still a captain, but he's essentially in command of the space forces under the authority of the planetary governor. So he's in the planetary governor's chain of command. I'm just going to call him planetary governor because it's easier.
No, sorry. He would much rather prefer you call him the mercantile executor.
I'm
Or
going
just
to
the
call him
executor.
the Merc XIC because
Mark
it makes me happy.
He might allow that with a positive roll for intimidation, but we already know you're going to pass it. So,
Well, I am calling the mercantile executor in chief and informing them that his new title is planetary governor of the system. No,
planetary governor of the system. So, not to be confused with planetary governor of the planet.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. What else?
Anyway,
what else you want?
No, I won't do that to him. Or you.
I mean, technically, he is the governor of the system. It's just that,
Yes,
for all intents and purposes, everything is centered on the planet itself.
The system is the
Well,
planet. Is the planet?
I will inform.
System.
I will
Yes.
inform the mercantile executor in chief that he is to see as best he is able to, and as quickly as possible, to meet the supply needs of the ship in question for repairs, and that it is to be given under his authority for the chain of command, and it serves two purposes: to help him defend the system from any raiders, because it is slightly better armed than some of those raiders. So minor pirate issues, he is to see to himself as he's able. Coordinating, since he is a spaceborne platform, that this system does not have anything of that scale, he is to see to potentially better coordinating space assets. And he serves at the pleasure of the mercantile executor in chief, to be incorporated into his chain of command, and that I will be proceeding to the planet henceforth. Maintain status quo with containing the Kroot, and I will be on planet within a period of time to deal with the situation directly.
A period of time equal to however long the GM.
Yes.
I just realized, if you remember from earlier, I said something along the lines of, "I feel like I don't have enough Windows documents open." I know what it is. I forgot my little log for the ship and how many days it takes to go from one place to another. That said,
in the words of Madonna, time goes by so slowly.
However many turns it takes us, I would like to get as detailed a scans as I can of the ship graveyards as we pass them, and of the Xenos Void Station in particular.
Okay. So I did put together some notes on that.
Would you like Jace to make scans for such things?
No, we can hand wave. I mean, we can assume that you guys are conducting these scans and there's no press other than the need to get the Halosk Prime in a timely manner. There is no need for expediency, so we can kind of hand wave some of that stuff. So of the two, well, first you want to see the Xenos Void Station. Let's see.
Scanning plot elements.
Yeah.
And wavium detected.
Yes. Exactly. There are, as mentioned previously, and as indicated on the map on the tabletop there are two derelict stations in the system, one orbiting the innermost gas giant, the other one further out. The closer of the stations appears to have been some sort of observation and monitoring station, perhaps to once used to study the gas giant and its attendant moons. The specific Xenos race in question is not easily identified, but I will allow for you guys to roll. I see I mentioned things like degrees of success, but I didn't actually say what to roll. Good job, GM. Give me any sort of knowledge regarding any of your travels, the Koronus Expanse, Xenos that you've encountered or know of, whatever knowledge roll that might be.
Well, not only do we have the knowledge rolls that I will remind the GM of, we also can choose to make an investigation roll that happens to place over a period of time as we investigate the material. We use materials that we possibly have on hand on the ship.
That sounds so much like an endeavor somewhere I've read in the rulebook.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But there are stated that it becomes easier over certain given times depending on the difficulty of the subject.
Yeah. I think given the fact that you have, let's call it some limited experience, we'll give it challenging. I think if it was anything else, like I don't want to give
Okay.
away too much until some rolls are made, but like if it was a different scenario, then the modifiers would be different. But I think for now, the net result would be challenging.
Okay, so scrutiny roll.
Knowledge. What's this game called? It not knowledge. It's like common lore, scholastic lore, something like that.
There's common lore, scholastic lore, and forbidden lore.
There you
Those
go.
are the lores.
One of those
I've
rolls.
got both. I've got both forbidden lore Xenos and common lore Koronus Expanse.
Go with the common lore, Koronus Expanse.
All right.
And no, I'm sorry. If you go with common lore, you'll get a +10. If you go with the Xenos, it'll be challenging.
I'll go with the common lore. Koronus Expanse. Wait, will I get more specific information if I go Xenos?
You know what? Here's what I'll do. Let's forego the rolling. This is what you are able to determine from this Xenos Void Station, is that if you guys recall the planet Mogoros, way back when, and there was that crystalline structure that had some sort of holographic recording or telepathic holographic recording, and you saw like their whole race. That particular alien race built this void station at some point in time and was out here as an observatory.
I see.
Interesting.
Now what you note.
What about the other void, the void port?
Let's see. The further void station.
Xenos.
Yeah, that one is hang on. Okay, so the Extremis void station or void port was an Acheron station from centuries past. The Acheron is an alien culture here in the Koronus Expanse or near it that I don't remember specifically, but I think they existed and then they died off or something like. I don't remember all the details specifically.
They were crusaded.
That is a way to die off. Yes.
Oh, they left their geode grenades for us though.
Yeah. So they, from centuries past, appears to have at one time been some sort of mercantile exchange port between various Xenos in the region. No information is available beyond that, as it seems the station was abandoned some 200 to 300 years ago. This coincides with the timeline of one of the battles that took place in this station, in this system, that generated one of the two ship graveyards. So basically you have the Extremis Void Port that was once upon a time some sort of mercantile exchange thing between different Xenos. And then that ended about the time that there was a space battle out here. The ship graveyards, the further one out, hovering in the nebulous borderline region between the primary biosphere and the outer reaches of the system, is comprised of varying Xenos ships and a handful of Imperial ships. There was a skirmish here some 300 years or so ago, before the time of the Van Breeze establishment. There's no official records as to what happened, and the ship's logs that have been recovered seem to indicate some rogue trader house was attempting to pacify the region of space and ran into some sort of hastily assembled coalition of Xenos that had banded together to prevent this. I imagine at some point during this investigative process, there's a cross flow of information between Halosk Prime and your guys' ships. And a working theory of Halosk historians on the main world suggests that this battle, though relatively small in nature, may have led to the downfall of a rogue trader, as evidenced by the later rise to power of your great-grandfather and grandfather, whose names we never actually generated. Not to mention the reduction in overall power of the local Xenos races. And by local, I mean in this particular region of space, not our system.
Yeah.
The innermost ship graveyard.
A Pyrrhic victory for whomever won.
Yeah, correct. But it did eventually lead to other things. Specifically, really, the downfall of the rogue trader and the eventual fading of Xenos' presence and activity in this particular area. The innermost ship graveyard is comprised of a number of tender and support ships dating as far back as the Angevin Crusade. And if I remember right, I didn't actually put this number in my notes, but if I remember right, the Angevin Crusade was something like 1,000 or 1,500 years ago. You can look that one up because it is on on the Black Library website. Hang on. Black Library Wikipedia is what I mean to say, not an actual Games Workshop thing. Many of these ships were seemingly left here, perhaps part of a lost convoy that never survived whatever might have happened here back then, or the ships were abandoned for unknown reasons. In the meantime, however, since the ships have been plundered for their parts and raw material, originally ordered by the now dead grandfather of the Lord Captain as part of his efforts in establishing the family domain. So, and again, this goes back to what we talked about in the last session, where a lot of the industry in this star system revolves around recovering assets and material from these different locations, bringing them back to the main world, repurposing, refurbishing, recycling, and then sending off whatever they produce from that to Regius in support of the Regius output. If there's anything in particular you're looking for, I don't have any more notes beyond what I've given you so far. I mean, I'd have to basically wing some shit on the spot, but I'm not opposed to doing it.
No, that's fine.
That said, let's see. We did talk briefly about Halosk Prime as you begin approaching the main world several days after your encounter with the Marathos. There are a number of continents on the world. There are some local indigenous life forms on the world. And then you have your main industry centered around the city called Workflow, which also serves as the administrative capital of the world. All production comes here, resulting in massive warehouse facilities, storage sites, and tanks, long lines of conveyance supporting a massive starport. The city itself is only a handful of kilometers across at the center of it all, located in some foothills. Smaller void craft, capable of round trips to the various work sites of the solar system, and thus simply referred to most as out and backs, meaning that they go out and then come back. These types of ships are in near constant rotation at the starport that virtually surrounds the city proper. Out and backs land, offload cargo and personnel, get refitted and refueled, are loaded with any outbound cargo, equipment, and personnel, and then depart again, leaving a landing pad empty for typically no more than an hour before another ship comes in to land and repeat the process. Much of the labor here either supports these operations directly or are porters moving cargo from ship to storage or storage to ship. Larger pads facilitate the orbital lift cargo ships that once every few months are completely occupied with loading and lifting all product from the stores to the waiting merchant ships in orbit above, so that Halos products can be moved to Regius Prime. South of the primary bulk of the city, with a wide cordon around it for gardens and some limited localized commerce, is the Halos Governance Hall. This is the home to the local governor, Roger Schreck, or as we have somewhat humorously referred to him as, his official title is Mercantile Executor-in-Chief of the world. I believe I've described him before, but I have actual notes here that may or may not contradict what I said previously. But basically, his hair is turning silver, the closely cropped beard and mustache having bits of gray. He refuses to do anything about it because he believes it adds to his authority. He is also impeccably dressed and outfitted in a very, let's call it close-cut professional sort of way. So, like, his clothing fits very well, like, very specifically tailored for him. It looks really well. Doesn't have a lot of like ostentatiousness or over much flair, but there's enough to be like, I am important, and you will respect that.
You described him previously as understated, but with impeccable tailoring.
Yes, exactly. And I believe I described that the situation. I mentioned this earlier too. He's well aware of the crew presence and is doing everything in his power to keep them contained. He wants to launch the final assault, the plans for which are being drafted. They're just not getting approved, or they're not accounting for the potential for collateral damage enough for his liking, or the oh, hey, look at that. I've found more notes on the planet's surface. As mentioned above, Mercantile Executive Chief Roger Schreck Sole person responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen in this system is already well aware of the group problem. While he hasn't been able to do anything yet about the space threat, which is mostly negligible. Skip all that. We've already covered the space problem. To include
We've
giving
already
him a new
dealt
ship.
with the space problem.
Yeah, exactly. Plans are underway even now to launch the final assault, but there are concerns over damages to the wares stored in nearby facilities, not to mention collateral damages to the facilities themselves. Presently, there are no viable plans, but the plan design committee is still in session. Shrek refuses to release this committee until a viable plan is approved by both him and Merchant Colonel Amend Vreen. More than 2 dozen crew remain from the initial assault force of over 300. As soon as their presence was known, the 1st Mercantile Guards, Vreen's command, immediately went to work, engaged the crew in the city streets. The initial fighting damaged and destroyed quite some property, to Shrek's chagrin, but the initial kinetic responses did accomplish the objective: contain and surround the crew. Vreen and his subordinate captains all have the opinion that those crew remaining now, these are the tougher, more devious bastards, their wheat and chaff having already been thinned away. All those present involved in this operation truly are committed to removing this threat, so there's no question of loyalty or intent. There is a board of governing executives overseeing the planet, and they have Shrek as its figurehead and titular ruler, an inherited title passed down from Keegan Shrek, his father, when he passed away more than 10 years ago. And in the intervening time, the board has approved of Shrek's actions and progress. However, once there were damages to the properties, the board has expressed grave concerns. There are some who are threatening to pull rulership titles if the crew are not sufficiently dealt with. It's kind of one of those weird, if you don't deal with this problem, we're going to take you off your position and put somebody else in charge. But also, if you do this and you cause too much damage, we're also going to use that as an excuse to remove you. I think in some of your many communiques back and forth, an additional person, there's basically 3 people that are in a position that might be sympathetic or less concerned with what the board has to say. Those are, of course, Roger Shrek himself, Amen Green, the commander of the ground troops, and also Executive Governor Alice Fremen, who is a primary voice of these concerns, serving as a direct liaison between the board and the office of the Mercantile Executor-in-Chief. And while she's the one that basically relays these messages of threats and whatever the fuck else that the board has to say, she's also like, but I hear you, Governor. They're just a bunch of pansies, and somebody needs to put them in their place.
I wish to see the bylaws that the board uses to remove or enable mercantile executors.
I can give you a quick summary. It's basically the same rule that any other one is, by majority vote, we could simply remove. They will also be more than happy to show you the miles and miles of paperwork that demonstrates and validates their statements.
Mm-hmm.
It has its origins in the Saxon.
Going all the way back.
I wish to speak to the board directly.
You want the whole board, all 27 members? I made that number up. I don't have a number. There's probably 9 or 15, some odd number, so you never have a tie.
I do wish to speak to the entirety of the board.
Okay, you do come down to the governance hall. One whole wing is devoted entirely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So far as I know, we're still in orbit.
Sure, absolutely. You want to do this teleconference?
Yes.
Okay, so you have your one main monitor, which shows your face, and then there's 27 other monitors that show varying angles of the 15 members of the board, as well as Roger Shrek, who is also in attendance, and if you are willing, Colonel Vreen himself is also in attendance.
Yes.
Okay, so there's just a skew of monitors. In fact, it's not even monitors. You probably have servo skulls and servitors holding these monitors in place. Just standing there.
Members of the board.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out, holding these monitors just so you can have this teleconference call, because it's exactly what a rogue trader would do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rev.
Members of the board, I am your rogue trader and Lord Commander. I hold titles too numerous to display here, and my accomplishments are many. However, I am henceforth informing you that since you serve at my pleasure, the vote, since the Mercantile Executor also serves at my pleasure. Any vote to remove him is not a mandate. In the future, any vote to remove a person that has been approved by the Lord Commander as Mercantile Executor will be a recommendation to be forwarded on the next merchant vessel to Regius, my capital, or whomever my heir may be. And the board will not henceforth and shall change all of their bylaws stating to the opposite, that they have discretionary power to remove the person that I or any future Lord Commander have approved.
That was a lot of words.
I mean, it was totally in character.
Yeah.
It was legal speak.
It was. And there's a handful of them, myself
You
included.
could smell it from across the table.
You could smell it through the etheric transmission.
Yes.
They have just been, to put it into plainer words, they've
Yeah.
just been informed that should they wish to voice their disapproval for the behavior of the person that I have put in charge, it will be
They
a
can talk to me
recommendation.
about it.
It will be the vote will be a recommendation forwarded to me upon which I will take action on or not as I see fit.
You get probably a somewhere between 2/3 and 1/3. Let me rephrase that. There is a split in how this information is received by the board of exec, whatever the hell. And it is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2/3, 1/3. There's a little less than a third. So if there's 15, there's probably like 4 people that are like visibly not upset because they would hold their composure, but to the trained eye, it's obvious that they're not happy.
They've all just been neutered. Of course, they're not happy.
Right. The rest of them, there are probably half that are openly in support. Now, again, they're all keeping their composure, so it's kind of stone-faced. But again, you're as a rogue trader, you're used to doing these sorts of negotiations. Some of them are obviously supporting, and some of them are more in between. But there are, of the grand total, 4 that seem to be very much against this idea, but they're not saying any or doing anything about it. Meanwhile, Roger Schreck, of whom you're most supportive, is just standing there looking as though he wants to decapitate every one of the. But he also doesn't say anything. And Vreen is sitting next to him, basically nodding in approval to everything you've said. And every now and again, he looks at the governor, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to kill them too, every one of them."
I will say that the remainder of the powers that the board has for day-to-day operations and ensuring efficiency on the planet shall remain intact, as well as whatever inherited titles and incomes. Their positions otherwise shall not change, but they shall not challenge the authority of the person that I have placed who is here to act as my representative on the planet. And should they challenge the authority of the person who is placed, who I have approved to be in command of the planet, should there be an inheritance issue, it will be at the discretion of the Lord Commander henceforth to mediate a settlement. Meaning that if someone declares, if someone assassinates, and this is above the table for everyone else, and for Omar, just in case.
Yeah. If there's a problem with Shrek or whoever's in his title, the board can. Go ahead.
If someone on the board decides they can claim Shrek's title for themselves, has him assassinated, and tries to step into his shoes, they still will have to meet with my approval or disapproval prior to actually having any authority. And should Shrek have multiple people who claim heirdom after he passes, whomever the rogue trader would be at the time is to be contacted for the mediation of such leadership dispute. It is not at the discretion of the board.
There's a little bit of
the board can appoint an interim.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a few that do speak up, not out. They speak up simply more along the lines of, with respect, changes to the rules require ratifications and updates to the verbiage, and of course filing with the administratum, et cetera, blah blah blah.
As they voice their objections, I say, and such changes will be made under my authority immediately.
At which point, there is a little bit of hushed whispering amongst some of the members, and then Colonel Vrain stands up and says, "My lord, with respect, if you have advice or input as to the final assault on the Kroot, I am all ears. We have yet so far been unable to devise a plan that both neutralizes the Kroot threat and safeguards the local structural integrity of the various facilities in that area." And there's a certain heated undertone when he says this because he's frustrated. And he's trying to, I think you probably get the notion that he's trying to ask for help without specifically saying, "Can you please fucking help me?" And there's a bit of, I think there's a further underlying tone of, "I'm doing the best I can with what I have. Some of these fuckers here are not helping, but I'll be damned, I can't come up with a solution that fixes this problem sufficiently for all involved."
I will say,
as we all know, we could just firebomb that shit and everybody's dead and no problem for us, but that also does a lot of fucking damage.
I will say that as rogue trader, the safety of this planet is my responsibility. I have already dealt with the threats in orbit. I have already dealt with the majority of the fleet that caused the threats in orbit. And as such forth, it is my responsibility, if not my duty, to personally ensure as best I can the safety of my subjects. If I assume the responsibility, or if I assume the authority, I also must assume the responsibility.
In that case, Lord Captain, and this is Shrek speaking now, perhaps at your leisure, we can retire, strategize, and plan for the assault.
Yes, as well as any possible supplies we may need for furtherance of the mission.
Let me guess. You want to make acquisition rolls now that you're basically on planet now.
Yes, there is one other thing I would like to do in this scene.
Sure. Okay.
The 4 members of the council who seemed, I am somewhat astute at reading faces, and I am adept politically, especially at dealing with nobility. And remember, I have a whole bunch of extra bonuses for dealing with nobility and putting them in their place, or appeasing them as need be.
Yeah, you're a rogue trader.
Oh. Well, forget my level of authority on the planet. In correspondences with high authority nobility and in political situations such as we're in, I have 3 separate plus 10 bonuses. So
I believe
character should do things.
You can make me roll if you want.
That's why I was like, you can see some of these things and whatever, but also
anyway,
you've got experience, so you can identify these 4 specifically.
We got a little off track there. In scene, there is one other thing I wish to do. The 4 people that you said I observed not happy with the new status quo will be sent private comms to each one, saying that upon resolution of the planet, the issue on planet, I wish to meet with each of them personally. And all are privately. None of them know that the other 4 are getting this message. They may find that out. They may talk to each other, but each one is going to get a message that they are with my. It's not my adjutant. What is it? What? Obviously, the guy's been dismissed of duty. What's my the guy in charge of managing? No. There's the guy under him. He's
the high factotum.
The high factotum. Thank you. The high factotum. They are to, if I am not on board ship or they're unable to reach me, they are to schedule in the interim what times work best for both of our schedules with the high factotum. And none of the 4 know that I am meeting with each of them. They're simply getting a private comm each.
Just to be clear for my notes, 4 members of the board will have a meeting with the Lord Captain or with the High Factotum. Now, I realize
the High Factotum is my scheduling secretary. I am meeting with them personally.
They need to coordinate with him. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
But I am not going to be coordinating with them while I am trying to come up with battle plans.
And your intent is to have this meeting after the fighting or before the fighting?
After the fighting. Planetary issues resolved. We're getting ready to leave the planet. I am going to be meeting either on their, I guess on their estates. If I'm bringing troops with me, I'm not really worried about whatever their estate guard might be.
If you're bringing troops, if you're meeting on their estate property, fuck them. Especially if you're bringing your troops. And pretty safe bet, you outnumber them.
Well, I'm assuming they have their own, especially if they're that high ranking on the planet, they have their own level of small militia, private guard.
I mean, I can come up with some bullshit any moment of the day, but probably the best that they're going to have is a handful of the Mercantile Guard. Oh, guess what the Mercantile Guard are going to be doing next session or so? Assisting your operation, or perhaps even conducting your operation.
I'm going to try to be as hands-off with the Mercantile Guard as possible, leaving them under their chain of command and using them as a holding force.
I didn't know. See, so I'll be honest. I think we're at a point where we're probably going to move into closing out the session as lengthy as that can be, including the acquisition rolls.
Okay.
I don't have a battle map ready.
Okay.
That's somewhat intentional. Like I didn't know how long the events of this session would take, and I didn't know how you wanted to approach handling the crew. I assumed that you wanted to be the tip of the spear yourselves, which is totally fine, totally what I expected. And then using the Mercantile Guard as their, you just stay out there on the outer edge and keep security. Don't let anybody get in our way. We'll go kill the troop for you. Don't worry. Or if you wanted to flip flop that in some way, so I would have to accommodate that.
There is one other request, and this may be a bit of a retcon.
Sure.
I would like to know from the other ship, even if we have to calm them.
The Clipper?
Yes.
Okay.
How did they liaise with the crew that were on board? Did they have a translator? Did the crew have a translator? What was the method upon which they communicated?
There is a couple of crew that, I mean, first off, the crew generic stat block has speak low Gothic, so they were able to interact as needed. It was a bit rough, and I mean, one's human and one is not, and so there's all sorts of layers there.
I was going to say I don't think crew standard can all speak low Gothic, so it must be for these mercenaries that have been in human space for a while.
I think that's where it comes from, is because they're in the, taken straight from the Rogue Trader adversaries, allies and adversaries chapter. The crew have speak low Gothic, so but that probably assumes for the Koronus Expanse crew as opposed to the ones you would find in the Tau Empire.
Certainly. I just was trying to make sure.
Yeah. But they probably, I think for what would make sense is there was probably a handful that have some experience in low Gothic and or dealing with humans because of their mercenary.
There is a giant unhappy beetle in my sink.
I have zero sympathy for that thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should. I don't know. I know I don't.
He's just a corn beetle.
Sure. That said, next session will involve your ground side actions, and I will have a map that you could plan on, and then a map that you can conduct on that meets your interests. Okay. I haven't figured out how I want to do the map just yet, but I have a couple of ideas. I just need to actually sit down and do it. That said, are we doing acquisition rolls now?
We are. If I could get everybody to roll me a D10, please.
Ooh, suddenly he's the GM.
I am in this case.
Whee! Why are we rolling a D10?
You know why we're rolling a D10.
I honestly don't.
Highest roll goes first.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Are we doing initiative for acquisition?
Basically, yes.
Is Alterios awake over there? He's been pretty quiet. I haven't seen his hand jittering around for a little bit yet.
Alterios, you with us?
Is your mic muted?
He might be, but his hand is moving.
Okay,
his hand is moving.
Well, Warner, Alterios, can I get a dice roll out of you so we can see what order we're rolling for acquisitions in?
I'll just go last.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Well, two of you tied, unless that 6 was from earlier. No, it wasn't.
The people who roll first are not getting to choose what they roll for. They're rolling for the group. So, rolling for last is like saying, "I'd like to win, please." So,
what?
Yes, we discussed this
as a group after game last time.
And I informed you of what the group had discussed in text.
Oh, is there a plan here? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, there are a couple of
It's
there are
basically just so that as we make group purchases and things,
nobody has to necessarily choose to sacrifice. But
whoever it's impartial.
Whoever rolls to go first will roll for the group acquisition, and it will continue, and the group will continue rolling for the group acquisition. And should we get those two acquisitions in question, and there be people left to roll, they will get to roll for something that they might want.
Okay.
I don't really want anything, so I'll go first then.
Okay. Do you remember what the group acquisition rolls, or do you want me to remind you?
You need to remind me whether it was between the light power armor or the regular power armor.
No, that was not the two top priorities for this roll.
All I heard was power armor. Now I'm thinking I'm gonna have to redo some stats.
It is on the list.
It's like number 3 though, and we're only going for the top 2 right now. And I believe, and someone can correct me on this, but I believe the top 2 are organ grinder rounds and a gun cutter.
No, no, they aren't. No, it is not. Motion predictors and organ grinders.
Yep.
Okay, so the gun cutter is later then?
Yes, the gun cutter is later.
Okay, all right. Then organ grinder rounds and motion predictor are our top 2.
All right, talk to me about these the stats I'm looking at.
Okay, so let me double check the sheet here. For the motion predictor, if we get it for everybody, it's going to be you're going to be trying to hit a 43 without any modifiers.
Now, when you say everybody, that is all players plus your platoon of guards.
That is all players plus the squads. Okay. That is
standard quantity.
Very rare standard quantity.
Standard 0, very rare is 20. And I imagine because it's motion predictors, just craftsmanship. So yeah, 43 sounds right.
Or the organ grinder rounds. The organ grinder rounds, which is extremely rare and a trivial quantity because we're just getting it for the squad, is a roll of 53.
Okay. Artorius, which one are you going to go for first?
Choking on my own lifesaver.
Please don't. Just for clarity, he did say choking on a lifesaver, right? I feel like there's
choking on my own lungs.
Oh, okay. Because I heard lifesaver and I was like, that's not how lifesavers work, brother. That's not saving your life. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you laugh as you choke, so please just ignore me. I'm gonna shut up.
Literally couldn't hear you over the coughing, so
no worries. You're gonna roll either 43 for the
motion predictors,
or 53 for organ grinder rounds.
I'll go for the 43. I feel lucky.
All right. 43.
Okay, you can also you've got fate points, so you can make it a 53.
And then re-roll too. That's going to be a re-roll.
A re-roll.
And that is a 5.
Nice. All right.
Behold.
Crit success.
Thank you, Alturios. That is much appreciated.
Motion predictors all round.
So can we have motion predictors that are like customized for our individual weapons?
Well, motion predictors are generic attachments for everyone's weapons, as long as it can shoot multiple shots.
Semi
yeah, I know.
or full auto.
I just want them to be custom, like the arm is a custom.
So your arm can't shoot multiple shots.
I know.
He just wants this thing to look snazzy.
Oh, if you want to have it paint, like you just picked up trade armoring, so if you want to make something look like the rest of your armor or whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Obviously,
that's what I'm talking about.
Nobody has to have a generic motion predictor. Especially, I'm assuming this universe has something probably better than Cerakote.
Okay.
It's if you've seen all the weapons that are painted up and look nice and the paint doesn't chip off, it's something like Cerakote.
It's also something that you can put on knives.
Yep. But anyway, continue.
All right. So yeah. Now Omar, just so we don't get out of hand. And this is everybody else can chime in on this too. I'm putting out there as a proposal just so that we stay within the quantity. Every member of the guard gets that we have our 4 squads. They all get 1 motion predictor. And each player gets. How do you feel about 2? 2, 3, any inputs there? Like I'm trying to decide what would be a fair number for that.
Well, 2 is fine since I already
2
have
is fine.
1.
I feel like if you have 1 already, then you now have a second one. You already had none, then you now have your first one.
I think I don't know, Omar. I'm going to fight you on this.
Including Winter, there's only 5 of us.
Yeah, so 2 apiece does not seem out of hand, especially for that kind of roll that we just rolled.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
I hate you guys.
So that would give me 3 in total to put on whatever I want. Alterios, do you have you shoot burst fire, so you can put it on your Hellblaster.
Yep, you can put it on your Hellgun.
Hellgun,
and
I
you
mean.
can put one on your Servitor.
Nice. That's right.
Yeah, I definitely will be putting mine, at least one of them, on my Hellgun.
Because Servitor does full auto.
I still have to pick a heavy weapon.
So who rolled next? I think we have 2 ties for 6.
Yep, you and Warner.
Correct. And you rolled under that, didn't you? Yeah, you.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
Okay. Yes. Warner, I guess let's do a D10 off.
A roll off, sure.
Actually, I was gonna say it's a D100 because we're less likely to tie.
Well, I just did a 10.
All right, so
Warner's turn.
Yeah, Warner, you've got the next roll.
All right.
53. You got any fate points to add to that?
Yeah, I'll add it. Make it a 63 runder. Wee.
Organ grinder, so I have to update these fuckers again.
No.
Yep.
No. You're updating.
The organ grinders are just for the party.
Oh, yes. Because these guys have the poison round.
Yeah. And organ grinder rounds do not fit in their weapons.
Are they for
correct?
Bolt? Organ grinders are for bolt weapons, right?
They are.
Bolt and a hand cannon.
And Warner?
Yes.
Hey, Warner?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. My brain. Hey, Omar.
Yes.
Organ grinder rounds are like poison rounds, but worse.
I'm not going to deal with that right now. What else you got?
Okay, so that leaves myself and
Jace.
And Jace with whatever we choose to roll for.
Yep.
Correct.
The next thing on the list is best crafted mono swords.
I don't.
Or good crafted mono swords.
You can roll off the other group acquisitions, or the whole point of this is that some people might get to make a personal roll if they so chose. So you can roll.
I would like to roll for the gun cutter myself. But
then by all means
do it.
All right, talk to me about this gun cutter because I don't know what. I imagine it's going to be something like rare.
It's like a shuttle.
No, I know what
it's armed.
I know what it is, but like stats wise, like is this a rare?
I think I have it on the acquisition rolls. It's very
rare.
It's very rare, but because it's a vessel, it has a +10 to the acquisition, or like a -10 difficulty to the roll.
Acquisition
vehicle -10, negligible quantity +30.
So the very rare and vehicle cancel the negligible quantity.
Yeah.
Where did you guys get the vehicle modifier?
It's in the base rule book.
Mm-hmm.
If
I'm not
you're
doubting you.
looking,
I just want to see it just to make sure.
yeah,
I thought it was because the vehicle's all in Into the Storm. Are you sure it's not in the Into the Storm?
Oh, you're right. It is Into the Storm.
That would check out.
Yeah, it's Into
we
the
go.
Storm.
Into the Storm, vehicle acquisition, page 179, by the page on the number on the bottom of the page.
Yep. So that's
it says, each vehicle has a listed availability and may be acquired like any other item. All standard rules for acquiring apply. It is perfectly possible to acquire a squadron of interceptors, for example. However, when acquiring a vehicle, all acquisition tests suffer an additional -10 on top of other penalties due to sheer cost.
So anyway, that would put the gun cutter at a 63. -20 for very rare, -10 for vehicle, and negligible quantity +30.
Okay, so just to be clear, so it's got what were the modifiers again? It's got, first off, it's got a -10.
It's got rare. It's got rare, which is -10.
Very rare.
Sorry, very rare,
-20.
-20. I looked
30.
at the wrong column for a second.
We're at 30
vehicle,
right now.
and then vehicle -10.
Yep.
Which is gets you to the
yes.
And then negligible quantity, which is +30.
Because we're only getting one of them.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So yeah, a base 63 is what we're at.
What is the next step up from negligible quantity?
Do you want more than
Negligible?
one?
A small squadron of them would be nice.
Okay, well that would put it at a 53 because it would be a -20.
Yeah, it's +20 for.
Or sorry, +20. So
yeah,
you'd end up with a.
And how many would that get us?
I'll give you. It says squad as an example, so I'll give you.
Yeah,
I'll give you 3 total.
I was gonna say I thought it said like 5 to 10 is what the next step up is.
3 to 5 for a squad.
Oh,
3
to 5.
10 to
You're
30.
right.
10 to 30 for a platoon, but because it's a gun cutter, I feel like 3 would be your.
All right.
Trivial
I'll
number.
settle for that. Do you want 3 of them?
I'm going to go for 3 just so that we have backups and we can.
You can do an armed combat drop.
Yeah.
Backups.
Oh gosh, that means now for training.
I'll give you. I'll tell you what. I'll give you. Okay, hold on. So you're rolling a 53. Let's do this. I'll make your target number of 48, but I will give you 5, which gives you a gun cutter for your player character squad and each of the 4 squads.
Yes, that's what I was aiming for.
Point of clarification.
Mm-hmm.
We can carry pretty sure we can carry the squads, at least 2 of them.
No, one squad per cutter.
Okay.
Is it 1 squad? Carrying capacity is for 6 people. Max room for 30 or equivalent. So you could actually.
30?
Well,
yes.
So
you've got
you could
quarters, living space for 6.
Yeah.
Max room for 30.
Or equivalent cargo. So I think what you would want to do in order to make it not necessarily as comfy as possible, but like relevant as possible, I suppose, you probably would want at least 4, 1 per squad.
Can I offer a compromise up to 5?
What do you got?
Leave the roll alone at 53.
Okay.
And for each degree of success that he gets, you add on another gun cutter.
Yeah.
Up to the 5.
Yeah, I can do that.
Up to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 53 will give you 1, plus 1 for every degree of success.
Well, anyway, Rev, what are you rolling for?
Not to be selfish, but I was thinking about a Storm Bolter.
Oh, that's very
Storm. Oh, that's just for you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Personal item.
Is that a bolt rifle with the storm quality?
Yes.
It is a bolt gun with the storm quality, yes. Storm Bolter is good.
That sounds scary.
It's that side-by-side bolter that the Space Marines use.
Yeah.
Is there one human
I
size?
don't think it's as big as the Space Marine one, but
no, it's just like the bolter that we have. It's not the same size as the Space Marine bolter.
Yeah,
our
you
Storm
would be able to
bolters.
pick it up and effectively use it.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure our heavy bolters are the
it's a
Space
standard
Marine's
Space Marine
bolters.
bolt pistol.
Bolt pistol, I don't know, but certainly a bolter.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so yeah, 53 and then plus 1 gun cutter per degree of success, up to 5.
Okay. Rev, you want to go ahead and go
Sweet
first
balls.
with your
Oh.
Storm Bolter?
Well, we already have the roll set up. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. I am spending a fate point on this.
Okay, 63.
Understandable.
Still limited to five total max gun cutter.
So
Understood.
Just to be clear, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm rolling for 3 at a regular success, and then
No.
up to 5 with additional degrees.
Hang on a second.
Right?
Gun cutter.
that's-
No, hold on.
that's-
The gun cutter came out at 53 total, right? No, it was
63
63.
So the agreed upon for
for
the 53.
negligible.
The agreed upon for the 53.
I see. Yeah.
The 53. The 53 gets you 1. And rather than just the rolling the 53, if you hit 53, the base roll, without the fate point, that gets you 1. Your fate point's upping it to 63. If you hit a 63, you hit 1. And for every additional degree of success upon after 63, gets you an additional gun cutter. That was
Yeah.
If you don't,
Up
if you
to
would
5
rather
total.
just
Then it should stay at 63 and be up to with the fate point should be 73.
I think
the minor starts out at saying 3 to 5. I think
I'm saying
starting at
go ahead
3,
and drop it to 53 and start at 3.
Yeah.
You're still limited
That
to 5.
seems reasonable. Yes.
But I can live with
Still
that.
limited to 5, yes.
Yeah.
No
But I
problem.
can live with that. 53 for 3, and then 1 for additional degrees of success.
And then, like I said, I am spending a fate point.
Yep.
So that makes it back up to 63.
Yep.
And let's roll.
That is
And
no
I
gun
am
cutters.
going, and I am going to roll
Do the
again.
reroll with the fate.
Where's my character sheet? Okay.
It rolled off the table.
That is I think what
That
you
is
get is
also
we
a
have
no.
gun cutters, but none of them are currently available for purchase.
All right. Well, I'll just do the same thing next time we get an acquisition roll.
Yep. After you kill some crew, you'll have another chance.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it happens.
All right, Rev, what are you looking at for your Storm Bolter?
So I didn't fully do
Man-sized.
so I have that it's a 53, which is going to be your very rare, I believe. Negligible quantity. Let me double, because it's the one normally when I write out stuff. I tend to include anyway. I need to double check.
Bolt weapon, Storm Bolter, extremely rare.
Minus 30, and then plus 30 for 1.
For negligible, so I have negligible is plus 30.
Yep.
Yes.
And then, are you going for common craft, or are you going for more than that?
I think the reason it's 53 instead of 63 is I'm going for good crafted.
Okay.
So that would be the other minus 10.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
To reduce my jams.
Yep. Because now you only jam, I think,
reliable.
on a 99 or something like that.
I am going to add a fate point to bring
So
that up to 63.
Yep. That is a Storm Bolter in your possession.
Yay.
Awesome.
And I get an additional one for each degree of success, right? No.
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 No, you do not. You do not. All right. Let's see what we got here. Excuse me. Take 250 experience points.
250.
So close to getting a gun cutter.
Yeah. Like you could see them out on the lot, but they were just not in a good state. They were not meant to be presented.
Or you could run it that next session, the first area that we clear of the crew was an airfield.
Can I offer a suggestion, Omar?
Sure.
On closely failed rolls, the book suggests that at the DM's discretion, he may require that additional challenges must be met in order for the acquisition roll to become a success.
Where is this written?
Under the acquisition section.
Page number.
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, that's a shame.
Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Warner's like, that sounded like a challenge.
I'm better at remembering context than page numbers.
No, that's fair.
Oh.
And again,
so-
this is never necessarily that I don't believe you. I see it.
Page 271 of the page number at the bottom of the book. As acquisitions. Matter of scale, combining acquisitions, automatic success and failure.
That's if you happen to go up to 0 or frequency.
Unusual, when to make an upkeep test.
It's strictly at the GM's discretion, but I was going to suggest that perhaps, since you have already suggested that there are gun cutters that may or may not be available, perhaps they're in some sort of state of disrepair being salvaged, and that we may have to make some sort of additional sort of like investigation or some other type of roll on the planet in order to possibly find the parts to at least potentially get one fully functional gun cutter before we leave.
It's in the black box on page 271 that says acquisition is a plot device.
I had a feeling.
A failed acquisition test does not need to mean that the item is completely out of reach of the explorers. The GM can work such events into the plot. Perhaps the item in the PCs we're trying to acquire has just been bought by a rival rogue trader and they must try to steal it back.
Oh, damn.
Maybe
There's House Fel showing up all of a sudden.
What they believed were genuine goods, only to discover them flawed or fake, and they must track down the dodgy merchant that they bought the goods from to get the real merchandise.
Yeah, see what I can come up with.
may require the explorer to spend time seeking out the item, or waiting for it to be constructed or trained before they can make the acquisition test.
Jace has to go on a completely solo side quest about learning the history of the gun cutter design system, its flaws, its merits, and then finally a pilot certification test before he can unlock the access to gun cutters.
May I suggest that you take various amounts of time during the next week to come up with an appropriate lore-fitting challenge?
Sure. Maybe, perhaps, part of the cordoned area that are currently occupied by Kroot, there's a gun cutter from which some of the Kroot might be firing at you from.
That's kind of what I was suggesting.
We'll see what I come up with.
While we're making suggestions,
my suggestion would be
Hold on. I'm
Ooh.
trying to speak.
Sorry.
Okay.
All of us are great at interrupting, myself especially.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, no, what I was thinking was, let me keep making acquisition rolls. As we clear an area of the Kroot, we clear an airfield that has gun cutters. My acquisition roll determines how many of them are fully functional.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
My suggestion, before you finalize your decision, is that we're entering an area full of salvage parts that we risk destroying. Perhaps you make some sort of roll on any sort of damaged crates to determine if that was in fact the necessary parts we needed to fix the gun cutter or not.
Definitely ideas.
Because changing it from a warehouse to an airfield may change the circumstances and layout of whatever you had planned, and even the theming of it. Certainly a warehouse full of spare parts would probably be easier for you to visualize on a battlefield. And those gun cutters are in need of the spare parts that are in said warehouse occupied by the Kroot.
Yeah.
And how fire happy we are determines whether or not we get gun cutters.
Definitely food for thought.
Were my suggestion to be further considered, there would be several crates that contained them, and that 1 to 5 that Jace wanted is also dependent upon just how much gets destroyed.
Did I say blow it up? Well, then let's blow it up.
No.
But at the GM's discretion certainly does mean at the GM's discretion.
As it always should.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. Mine isn't related to this. It's a suggestion for something else.
Okay.
I was gonna
That's
say.
okay. I don't remember what I was gonna say now.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Omar, since you did not have names for the dynasty folk of House Van Breeze,
Oh, grandfather and great grandfather and whatnot.
I suggest Aldrich as the name for the progenitor.
Okay.
Is Germanic, meaning
is.
old ruler. And for his grandpa, I propose Gerontius, which is
I'm assuming
Latin
that's
for
spelled with
old
a
man.
G.
Yes.
Okay, and I remember what I was going to say now.
Okay, doke.
Also, we need to talk about rules for tradecraft, because I now have trade armorer and trade shipwright.
And I have trade voidsman. There is one further topic to be discussed tonight, unless you don't want to.
Oh, give me a second, because I had to find a particular file, and now I got notes. 1 second, please. All right. Great-grandfather was Aldrich? Is that what you said?
Aldrich.
Yeah, Aldrich.
And grandfather, Gerontius?
Gerontius. Because both of those names sound sufficiently
Germanic.
Gothic. And both of them essentially mean old dude.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about who the father is, and we obviously know who.
Yes.
We know who the father was.
Do you? Do you really?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You think so? You think so?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well,
obviously it was Annette.
Annette. Wouldn't that be some tripped out fucking bullshit? Davros Annette was your fucking, not only your arch rival and your mother's arch rival, but he's your dad. He's your daddy.
Hi, Dad.
Well, that would explain why they hate us so much.
Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad.
Love and hate are
so closely
very
intertwined.
fine line.
Yeah. Yep. I do have one question I want to ask. And this is kind of a.
Yes, I can do the Fortnite dance.
No.
In answer to your question. Oh.
No. I was referring to the map I put together. Thoughts.
Okay.
Whatever. I want to. Not for nothing. I kind of want to show off what I did. So this is a little selfish. But obviously this was meant to be more of a diagram than a map of the solar system.
Right.
But we have obviously the dull red star. We have Halosk Therma, the glittering Halosk Prime, the ship graveyards, etc., etc. And then the background image, the star field behind it, we've seen that before. I've just changed I put a bit of a greenish cast to it because I wanted to make it seem kind of
Nurglish?
No, I wanted to make it look as though it was kind of a greenish hologram sort of thing, but I don't know how to make it look full hologram. Which would have taken me more effort to put something together, because if you look closely, you'll see that this is basically clip art.
Yeah, no, it's a fine map. It gave a good visualization of what this is of the. I mean, if one is drawing a system of Earth and they put, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, one knows that they're not always in that perfect alignment, but that's merely the virtual rough distance from the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to put this together to give you guys that visual reference, because I've been thinking about that in the past, because I've given this exposition, this block of shit about the different star systems you've been to, but I've never given you guys a visual aid, and I'm wondering if this was better, less than, more than, whatever.
I liked
it certainly conveys the information more efficiently.
Yeah.
Speaking of the system,
I definitely liked it.
There is one other thing I would tell the mercantile general, what's his face?
Shrek?
Yes.
Who is absolutely not an orc with a swamp?
Yes. I would inform him that we have some knowledge of the builders of the space station, and Remind me what sort of check did we have to undergo not to be driven mad by the swirling holograms inside the
Pretty
other
sure it
one?
was just a willpower test.
I will tell him that if any members of his salvage crews have attempted to explore the interior, if they have not, then there may perhaps be a accessible recording of the history of this system that could potentially be of further use in terms of knowledge. But that if he sends anyone specifically looking for that, they should be of stout mind.
Okay.
And constitution.
Noted. Alterios, it's getting kind of late for you and you're not feeling so great and everything. What feedback, if any, do you have, friend?
I didn't get to the final thing.
Oh, I
yet.
apologize. Please continue.
The final thing before the final thing before feedback is we have not gone over the ship components, and I did have a question and somewhat of a bit of a quibble.
Okay.
We are assembling the ship. We know the parts that would be available at footfall or easily shipped there within said determinate period. I am not comfortable with yes, there will be delay, but you don't know how long, because we would know how long to a certain degree. So if we choose to pick a component that would lengthen the delay, we should have, if not a definite, we should at least have some sort of ballpark it's going to cost us. For example, if we say, yes, we would like the Warpsbane hull, it shouldn't be, I don't know how long it's going to take. We should know roughly how long it's costing us to have something like that on it.
Because I did say something along the lines of, based on what items you choose,
it could require. You said it could take longer, but you don't know, and so
that's my standard default GM answer.
I understand, but you don't know. But you don't know is especially if we're trying to build a ship, and we would be basically all of these orders to build a ship would have been something that we largely left with them before we departed.
Yes.
So we would have ballparks on what various components would take if we chose anything that's out. Everything else is within your standard, but if the Warpsbane hull takes an excessively long amount of time, I do have a counter to that, not in terms of your ruling is your ruling for how long it takes. But if we don't get the Warpsbane hull, and we don't get to choose between two warp encounters, no more of this, whatever stat I roll is what you're rolling against. It's our strongest stat for the navigator in terms of...
I see you're trying to bargain rules.
No, I'm trying to go by the actual rules, not your whimsy.
Well, keep in mind that whole rolling to see what she rolls against for the psychic encounters was the trade-off to not having a navigator player character.
No.
Yeah, that's why I wrote those rules.
Well, I'm saying that's not fair. The navigator wouldn't choose something she's not as strong as, or strongest in, as if they were a player character.
Just because you the Warpsbane hull at, why can't I find it all of a sudden?
I am unsure of that, which is why I didn't know how to include it in the ship's construction.
All right, let me look. Ship creation. Components.
I never saw it listed under a component anywhere. I think it's one of the
Warpsbane hull, page 199. The entire hull of the vessel is covered with silver hand-inscribed hexagramic wards. These reinforce a Geller field projected from a 50-meter statue of an imperial saint located just to the fore of the bridge. Shield of Faith. Any navigation test to pilot the ship through the warp gains a +10 bonus. When rolling on the Warp Travel Encounters table, the GM rolls twice and allows the navigator to choose which result is applied.
Now, does this take up space or power or anything? Because I didn't see that under any of those components.
No, this is just the hull itself. Because I don't remember seeing that anywhere. As far as power and space and all. Yeah, I'm not seeing that anywhere.
It requires 1 power. It's right underneath Geller field in essential components.
Okay. Shoot, I didn't look under essential.
I keep looking. Oh, yep, I see it. Under
Does it have any space?
No,
Nope.
it's space
Zero
zero.
space.
We may have
Okay.
to modify our ship build slightly if it does require power.
It does only
power.
require
Yeah,
one power though.
Just drop the librarium and put it in there.
Let me think.
Everything else is thematic. Everything else that's only one power is thematically appropriate for the ship.
Also, in
suppose.
regard to the time commitment, I will say this. I have been very nebulous about the time up until recently.
And if you want to take the week to give us a more definitive on time, like that's fine.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing was I wanted the arrival of the Fell Hand to coincide with a particular plot moment. So, and that's part of the reason why I've been vague and nebulous, and you don't know how long it's going to take, blah, blah, blah. So, we have hit as I mentioned before, we have hit the, for lack of a better thing to call it, the minimum time requirement for the ship to be put together and sent back out, whatever. So, at this point, its arrival is imminent, other than the fact that in character, you don't know that it's coming.
Right. So we have so if we have a warpsbane hull with a saint with an inscribed thing, I don't know. I still say that if warpsbane hull takes an expedient like an inordinate amount of time, that the whole I'm just going to randomly roll to mess up your encounter just because that's not a fair ruling.
I'm not following what you're trying to.
So if we have a piloting encounter, everything that we pick is our strength. You're not going to go, well, for the navigator now.
Oh, I see. I see where you're going. I got you. I got what you're saying. Because you've been able to do it in one condition, but in another condition very similar, you don't have any choice. I see where you're coming from. I'll give it some thought as to how I want to resolve it, and by resolving I mean not so much. Effectively, what I'll look at is how we're going to approach warp travel, because at this point, going through all these tests every so many days is almost moot because you're never going to get something to happen unless something fails either by choice or by design for plot reasons. In which case, why have the randomness? That makes sense.
Right. Well, we did get a warp encounter because of the randomness. Because you chose the not weakest, and several of us walked around paranoid or something. I forget.
Right. So, but ultimately, what it's going to boil down to at this point is warp encounters are now going to be almost exclusively for the point of the story, as opposed to randomly generated. Unless we come up with some other way, because otherwise the chances of it happening are relatively and very low. Because of various skills levels being what they, and the end result being that you guys are rolling against a 96 in order to avoid encounters, unless so many failures happen in a particular.
Actually, I think basically her detection and her ability to give Jace the ability to roll at 96 are lower than the 96.
It, for the sake of argument, that I feel like the chances are pretty low. Now, they're not necessarily 4% chance every time, and yes, 4% several times is a lot better, or a lot more than just 4% flat. I think at this point, though, realistically speaking, with your guys' power level being at 1,000, whatever joke says it is.
9,000.
Over 9,000.
Okay,
yeah,
fine. Clearly, I don't watch it. I was just trying to make a damn joke. But regardless,
okay.
Clearly, your guys' ability to avoid warp encounters is substantial. So therefore, I feel like moving forward, more than likely, Warp encounters now will simply be a matter of for plot points, and rolls otherwise will be determined if this is supposed to take 100 days. Is it 25 days, 50 days, 100 days, 1,000 days, or are we going backwards in time? That sort of thing.
So then, if that's going to become a minor issue, for my character's vanity's sake, I want a silver ship covered in runes with a statue on it.
Absolutely. By all means, get the Warpsbane Hull if you want to, and you can otherwise figure out how to make it happen. Because vanity, as a rogue trader, is absolutely a quality that is shared amongst all rogue traders, and is compared.
Yeah. Above the table, is that...
I have jaded, I don't have vanity.
Same difference.
Well, also, Jace is not the rogue trader.
Yeah, I know.
Guys.
He's close, though.
Before we go too much further with feedback and other things, I do want to get Alterios' input, because I know he's not feeling great, and it's getting really late for him.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Alterios. Go ahead. We'll get your feedback, and then I'll fight with Omar some more.
Boy.
Alterios.
He's around, or he was a few moments ago, because I did see his little mouse hand. God, that sounds so horrible. Yeah, I just said it.
Little mouse hand.
I'm sorry, man. That's just take my little mouse hand.
Alterios, touch Omar with your little mouse hand.
Well, now I might want it.
Oh
boy.
I always liked your little mouse hand at the small of my back.
Well, now his mouse isn't moving, so now I don't know if he's there and wanting to talk or not. Yeah, I see it over there. Well,
I think we lost him.
I think he's around. He's just not. I don't know. We'll see what happens at the time we have.
I think he's like Great Ribs fighting with Omar again. I'm just gonna go get a coffee.
He probably is. If he hasn't fallen asleep. All right, what else you got, Revan? Make it quick, because I don't want to be here all night going back and forth with you.
Oh no, it's just above the table. If we get a silvery ship to appease my vanity, whether it's warp, since we're not really going to have Warpsbane encounter or whatever, so it's not really going to matter in terms of functionality. Are we still going to see a major delay for my vanity's sake?
The ship will arrive when it. I know that's a vague answer, but no, it won't be delayed.
The GM reserves
regardless.
the right to make things move at the speed of plot.
Yes.
Right, and since it requires a power, I'm even willing to sacrifice the librarian we were going to put on the ship.
Can't help you on that one. That's a player decision.
I know it's a player decision. I'm just saying that, for vanity's sake, and RP reasons, something that should appeal to the GM, I'm getting rid of something that would actually be functional for my vanity.
Sure. I mean, that absolutely does make sense in character.
And I'm saying that should be worth something in terms of when the ship arrives. As an appeasement to the GM.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to appease me in such a way, because the ship will arrive when I have it designated to arrive.
I understand it.
There is a point in time when that ship will show up that is, at this point, more or less non-negotiable.
Okay.
And I don't want to say any more about it, simply because I don't want to give away when it's going to show up.
That's fine. I understand you have a plot moment you want it to show up. I'm just confirming that our addition of the Warpsbane hull is not going to remove it.
It won't impact that.
All right. So, are you ready? Warner, would you mind? Do you have the chart that you put to the spreadsheet that you put together the other day?
They're in the same place that they were before.
I know they are, but you're the one who can edit them. There's only screenshots in the place that they were before.
I don't have Excel open right now.
I already pasted the screenshot into the Rogue Trader channel.
Okay. Well, Omar, you can see the list of components that we chose in the Rogue Trader channel. The only thing that'll be changing is we'll have one extra space, and there will be no librarian. The one power the librarian was using will be taken up by the Warpsbane hull.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm showing it in the stream as well. 2 Mars macro battery broadsides, however that's listed. I know what you're talking about. 1 Sunseer laser battery. That's right, because you have a You have a dorsal. Oh, you have a prow. That's what it was. A prow and the two side
Prow
shots.
and two broadsides.
Yep. Murder Servitors. This sounds like a fun game to play.
Yes, the Murder Servitors, the Tenebra Maze, the Crew Reclamation Facility, and the Teleportarium are all sort of a theme going on.
By theme, I'm assuming you mean something like a plot point that you want?
We send murder bots through the Teleportarium and have murder bots guarding the dead ends.
And the Crew Reclamation Facility, Alturios has bring out your dead. They are now Murder Servitors.
Yeah, the Crew Reclamation Facility, it will hurt us a little morale-wise, but it will ensure us an ever extended supply of Murder Servitors.
I think, if I recall correctly, with the Temple Shrine, we end up with a net positive morale.
That's just the standard flat measurement. The Crew Reclamation Facility means that every time we take a hit to morale, we take a bigger hit.
I know.
This is going to be interesting when Are we calling it the Severed Hand, by the way? Is that the final answer on the name?
I believe so.
Yes.
Unless you want to pronounce...
no, I am not doing the Greek version.
Well, can I suggest that its name on the table, whenever you use it, is the Greek name with Severed Hand in parentheses, and for simple reference, we call the ship the Severed Hand, even though it still has the Greek name.
I'll put it to you this way, Rev. You guys can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. When I call it by its name, it will be the Severed Hand.
Yes, because you're an English speaker. I'm simply saying
I can't speak Greek to save my life.
I'm not asking.
It's Greek to me.
I'm not asking you to. What I am asking is that on the ship sheet, and possibly even if the ship has a name on the table, it is the Greek name with Severed Hand in parentheses.
I see what you're saying. I got you. I'll see what I can do about that. No promises. All right. Alturios, final chance for feedback, or we're going to move on. I don't know if you're back or not, if you're there or not, if you're awake or not. What do you got, brother? Like 15 seconds to...
Alturios.
Just give a moment. We'll see what happens. He very well may have fallen asleep.
Yes, but sometimes when you specifically call out someone's name, they go, huh, what?
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's been about 15 seconds.
Also, I am going to paste the gun cutter into the Rogue Trader channel if you want to show our viewers that.
I will hold off on that. You guys haven't actually acquired one yet.
Well, right. Yeah.
But any other feedback thoughts for tonight?
It is inevitable.
Inevitable.
Resistance is futile.
Okay, well, first off, there's a whole Borg continuum that would like to know your location.
Yep.
Prepare to be assimilated.
Actually, if he's quoting Borg lines, wouldn't Species 824 or whatever want to know his location?
Yes.
Those are the fuck. What are they? The
stupid things from Voyager.
Yes. There's a lot of things from that. I digress.
They were also from the Star Trek Armada 2 board game or computer game.
Anyway,
we
and Star Trek Online for that matter. Moving on.
We wanted to make something scarier than the Borg, so we escalated.
And it didn't go well. And then they came out with Picard Season 3. That was
de-escalated.
Weird. It was weird. Anyway, actually, those may not be interrelated. Regardless, Warner, you've had a moment to say something, but I don't know if you had anything specifically feedback other than for the map. Do you have any other feedback you want to?
I enjoyed tonight. It was a good one. I do think that there is a tension between the desire to have your surprises and whatnot, and keep things vague and nebulous as a GM, and the verisimilitude of somebody who's paying for something generally gets an estimate, whether the estimate is, accurate or not. Well, I, as a project manager, know that 75% of projects come in over budget and not on time.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. I mean,
but
I'm
there
sorry, go ahead.
is an estimate, even if it's bad.
That is a fair point, and I think I certainly don't mean to cause tension or kind of plan for the severed hand to show up at a certain point. Partially, frankly, because I didn't want you guys using it too often too soon.
Well, yeah.
Secondly,
that's the GM call.
Secondly, narratively, it would have made sense for it to not be available for a significant portion of time. But hey, look, it's here now. That was my sort of stance. But I do appreciate you pointing that out. Don't get me wrong. Argue feedback.
And again, I understand. I've GM'd things before. There are things that you want to do for reasons of plot and impact and to have a moment, and I get that.
Certainly must have been a fun bit of time for you guys to put together things you wanted to put on this show. You enjoyed that much. It's done entirely off screen. But I also did that that way specifically because I had a feeling that not so much argumentative brothers, but watching you guys run around like chickens without your heads as you try to figure out what parts to put where and what priority was. I was like, no, I'm not airing that.
It took a while.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, it did.
There wasn't
would have been an entire session with just that.
Exactly.
I don't think there was too much chickens without heads. It was trying to debate the pros and cons of a couple of different options.
Sure. Absolutely. And I did not want to be a part of that thought process.
I will admit that I am disappointed in the fire profile of this show.
From your guys' choices or from what I gave you?
From what you gave us.
From what you gave us,
well,
essentially.
That's a fair one, because I also, when I said light cruiser, and when I looked at the stats that I was using for basically your base for this light cruiser, I was like, well, that's a little underwhelming, but I've already committed to this, and I don't want to go back and really change it a whole lot, so they're just going to have to deal with it. But, depending on what you put on it, you could make something work.
It is because of the weapons layout and arcs of fire.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, our Acheron's Ferry can bring much more firepower to bear against a single target than can the larger ship.
Yeah, because I don't think your firing arcs really overlap.
They don't.
So the only way to get more than one weapon system on a single target is to fire at the halfway point and then again at the end point of your movement. Or the starting point, depending on how you want to work. Which is unfortunate.
Based on ship maneuverings and whatnot, it's much easier to get a couple dorsal turrets on target.
Having dorsal and or keel to go alongside broadsides and or prow is really a good way. And for what it's worth, I do apologize in that unfortunately I did state a certain thing and I kind of felt like I had to stick with that.
Basically. That's fine. I'm not.
Also, not for nothing, I feel like in some ways I also kind of feel like this is a good, not promising that you're going to get yet another bigger, better ship, but if you were, this is not a bad point of progression from your original ship. You also have a few other ships too that you have options with. Now, granted, it looks like you're only really going to move forward with the Halosk and Severed Hand as part of your marauding flotilla.
The current flagship.
Well, no. Once the Severed Hand is joined to our fleet, just to keep things easy for you, and I'll be frank, the Halosk is going to be shifted to either planetary protection or anti-piracy patrols.
Okay. I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to have, theoretically, if you wanted to have all your ships, I would just have to account for it. We would have much larger ship battles, but that would be based on the choices that you guys had.
More ships for us to acquire?
Okay, I see now where this could, exponentially become a massive
You're
pain
right.
in my ass.
I am sending out a recall. All of the ships we have ever captured are going to be accompanying it.
Your pilgrim ship, I'm going to point out right now, is going to be like, Lord Captain, with respect, I must ask you to reconsider our involvement.
I'm going to retrofit their prow and put a bunch of mining lasers on the front of it, and they are going to be a boarding ship. Their entire goal is to crash into other ships and exgorge troops via whatever hole they catch.
Hilarious. That would be, you'd have the first and second Regius Guard, or whatever the hell I called them back whenever. They would just be loaded on that ship permanently and used when needed to board other ships and land at other facilities.
Yeah, no. Like I said, the whole front of it's just mining lasers, and they just bore into the side of a ship as a ramming action.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts before we end it for tonight? I think everybody's had sufficient time to provide feedback if they had any.
Yeah. No. I don't think I'm ever going to have our active fleet above 2 ships, just simply to keep things more manageable for you in planning your ship battles.
Sure.
Obviously, if the capital world gets attacked where I'm sending other ships, you're going to have to deal with that. But
damn, he just figured out the whole plot to Segmentum 7.
Oh my goodness.
All right, my friends, that is it for us here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please consider smashing the like button and following and subscribing and all the other buttons as well. There's usually some other stuff I say here, but I don't remember all of it, and I don't really want to say it all. So stay safe out there. This world is a crazy, grimdark universe world, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you. And as for me and mine, and especially Alturios, we are out of here. See you next time. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Cheers.